All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Going live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Your host with the most, Griever, as always, bringing you guys Happy Valentine's Day stream, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day stream. God damn. All right. So this is either... there's a lot of people on the spectrum, right? To use a term here. There's a lot of people on the spectrum when it comes to Valentine's Day, right? You either have it doesn't matter, like there's actually, regardless of your relationship status, people still have, right? People still have that that crazy opinion, like on the spectrum, right? Like you have people over here that go, okay, Valentine's Day is stupid, it's just another Tuesday, I don't even know about it. Single, married, or otherwise. There's that group of people. Then you have the group of people that are like, okay, I know Valentine's Day is here, but I'm also single and I'm a little depressed about it, or like I wish I had someone, and it just doesn't make people feel well, right? Then you have the people who have that same sort of slightly different, not necessarily depressed, but stressed, who know Valentine's Day is there, who are in a relationship, who are married, but are like, what do I get my significant other this year? What do I get my wife this year? Where do I take my girl this year? What do I buy her? What do I get? What do I do? I can't just keep doing the same thing year after year, and it's stressful. So it's not depressing, but it is still stressful. Then you have the people that enjoy it. Then you have the people who just ignore it completely, but they're married and stuff. Then you have the people that actually enjoy Valentine's Day. They use it as a bit of an excuse, or they use Valentine's Day weekend. Like, this is a Tuesday, right? Valentine's Day locking down on a Tuesday. Most people are sort of sitting there like, well, we'll do it the weekend before, but that was Super Bowl weekend. So generally it's the following weekend. The following weekend, it's like, well, let's go out to dinner, or even if you're on a budget or whatever, people just sit down and have a nice meal. Like in my house with my wife, when she's here, we sit down for supper almost exclusively. So sitting down to supper with candles and a nice meal is a typical Tuesday for us, right? But on a Valentine's Day Tuesday, maybe there'd be flowers, like this year I bought her a gift, right? I got her a gift this year. Most years I try to do a little bit more than flowers and stuff like that. But, so my point is, tons of different opinions, whether single or married. Some people can have the same opinion while being in different relationship statuses. Valentine's Day is all over the map for some people. Some people just enjoy it. Like me, my wife's not here this year for Valentine's Day, so it's just like, it's just another day for me. But for some people, And some people, this is around the time, the week before, is when people break up. People break up right before Valentine's Day. For some reason, they think it's okay to go through a Christmas and a New Year's with someone that you're going to break up with. Nobody can convince me that you didn't know you were going to break up with someone, on January 1st, but you knew before Valentine's Day. What happened in that month and a half span? Nothing. Unless somebody found out they were cheating on someone, like something major. If you just are done with the relationship, if it's just not going anywhere for you, if you're just not in love, whatever, don't tell me you didn't know. Oh, you found out 2 weeks before Valentine's Day? Yeah, bullshit. You knew it was coming a long time. So, I never understood that either. Some people, Valentine's Day is also a day people get cheated on and shit. Like, it's a day. It is a day, I'll tell you that much. And goddamn, it's getting cold in here. Oh, I didn't even turn the heat on. Goddamn. Let's turn that heat on. We had a fucking snowstorm here fucking yesterday, so, Misk says, so by the way, the chat says, let's see, we already got 3 likes here too. Cool. Misk says, Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. And Caden says, sup. Sup, Caden, how you doing, man? So, what do we have for us today? Well, let's see, what do we have? Well, got a couple of, I thought we'd just search the term Valentine's Day and check tier list, check tier maker, see what kind of fun jazz we can get into. I'll probably open up the VC when people are available. When people are available, I'll open up the VC and we can We can chat about some dates or whatever. And we can talk about anything, really. We can talk about anything. But yeah, I was just going to go down. And I did do a haphazard, really quick, top 10 romance movies and top 10 romance anime manga. That for me personally. Now, this is not a definite list. I made this like this morning. So it's just the ones I could rack my brain over and be like, okay, which ones do I really like? So I might have missed a personal favorite or something like that, or something that I would put in my top 10, but I just can't remember it right now, you know? So we'll be going over that stuff. You know, there's no time frame for this. There's no set, you know? I've got stuff I could probably get accomplished today, but fuck that, you know? Let's just enjoy an evening, you know? Just enjoy an evening, see what the fun brings. But yeah, like, might be some. So we got some top 10s to discuss, and you know, if anybody's in the VC, they can discuss their top 10s. Tier lists, as I already said. Quizzes. I was thinking of searching some BuzzFeed quizzes. You know, some romance stuff, some movies, some, I don't know. What's your favorite power couple? What's your favorite ship? You know, that kind of shit. So we'll cover a few things tonight, I think. It's the day of romance. You know what I mean? So, you know, and for everyone wondering, right back there. This is a funny little thing, and we'll talk about this a couple times in the stream. But this is a joke. This is a joke from last year, from Christmas of the year before. So 2021, I think, not 2022, but 2021. This is a bit of a joke. Neve said, I forget where it stems from. I really do. So when Neve jumps in here, or Band, or somebody can tell me what the joke is, I totally forget. But I'm supposed to have condoms in the background of a stream, a Valentine's Day stream. Now I forget the context of this. But I did happen to have these. I did happen to have these for a long time now, so I just figured, fucking A, we'll put them in the background, you know, buying the good brand and everything too, buying the Trojan brand, you know, the Trojan horse, you know. So, yeah, actually, funny story. The reason I actually bought these, because I've only ever bought condoms. I think that's the second time I've ever bought condoms in my life, because I was young and stupid. But the reason that I actually own those, funnily enough, is because it was, you know how everyone knows everybody knows COVID, right? So COVID happened, and my wife was stuck where she was doing her PhD, which was in Illinois. She was in Illinois, right? Damn, that's good coffee. So she was in Illinois. And she was stuck there during the pandemic. And remember, the borders were closed. The borders were basically closed for a solid year and a half at least. So what ended up happening was I didn't see my wife for almost 2 years. And, or about 2 years, yeah. So, you know, come on, guys. We're all adults here. Well, we should be. But basically, she's on the pill, right? But there was no reason for her to be on the pill for 2 years while, you know, she's not cheating on me and she's not banging me. I don't have a dick from Canada down to Illinois. I don't got a dick that big. So at the end of the day, you know, she went off the pill. And when she finally came up here, you know, she hadn't seen her doctor and blah, blah, blah and stuff like that. And so before she came up here, she asked, you know, could I... would I mind, and it was so funny. It's like we've been together at that point like 8 years. And I was like, now all of a sudden after 8 years, it's time to fucking use condoms. And I'm like, what the fucking hell? And it's not for STDs or anything like that. It was just for, the pregnancy thing, right? She was off the pill because no point being on the pill for 2 years. And, you still have to pay for your pills, right? Canada or America. So just to save on money, she wasn't on the pill. And, in the end, she ended up going on the pill right before. She ended up getting to see her doctor right before, like 2 days before she came here. So they're unopened, but I bought them, in advance just in case. And, yeah, so funny. Funny little story there. Funny little jump there, I guess. As I said, if anybody missed that story, I guess I'll bring it up later in the stream. But yeah, so that's the reason I own them. And they're expensive too. They're also expensive. I know there's more material, but I'm a little pissed off that the large ones cost more. I'm kind of pissed off at that, you know? Like, you're trying to be responsible, and because you know, God decided to gift you a little bit more than the next guy, you got to pay more money. It fucking sucks. Caden said, "Oh, artist said COVID condoms is crazy." I know, right? COVID condoms, nice thing. And 5 people in here, but only 4 likes. Though I like the 4 likes. Can we get that up to 5 likes? Caden said, "Right, yeah, exactly." Caden said, "Luffy X Nami." Nah. If Luffy's with anybody, Luffy X Nami's sort of popular. I can kind of see it in a roundabout type of way. I still think Luffy and Boa kind of makes sense. Luffy and Vivi kind of makes sense in a little bit regard. Luffy and Nami, see, Luffy doesn't really make sense with anybody, realistically. Luffy and Nami's not terrible, but I just don't see Luffy really with anybody at the end of the day. As I said, Boa, you know, Nami works. As I said, Vivi maybe. But yeah. Kane said Naruto X Hinata. I mean, 4. Sure. Naruto X Hinata. I mean, that's what happened, right? They did end up getting together. That's really the only option, though, for those ones. And Caden also said Ichigo X Trash Can. What? Like, not Rukia or Orihime, or even a lot of people like Ichigo X Grimmjow. I'm just saying, you know. But yeah. I mean, Ichigo X Orihime is a real one. Tenryo said, "Well, the chat is off to a bad start." Yeah, not the greatest start, is it? Well, it is what it is. We can talk about some other shit. Oh, I thought I found something pretty funny on the internet the other day. Of course, I found something funny on the internet. So it was really funny. And I sort of made this. I improved upon this joke. The basis of the joke wasn't that great, so I fixed it. I fixed it a little bit. So basically, so this is going to be a bit of a raunchy, not a raunchy joke, not like a sex joke, but it's gonna involve some racism. All right. So this is a bit of a racism joke. So a group of people go into a restaurant, okay? They end up and they sit down at this restaurant and stuff, right? And they're in the South. Of course, they're in the South, right? And you know, there's a couple of white guys there, and there's a black fella. And the black fella basically says, you know, the waiter comes over and stuff like that, and you know, says, you know, "Hello, you know, welcome to the restaurant. You know, what would you like?" You know, they go up to order or whatever. And so the first guy up is the black guy, and the black guy basically, before he can even get a word in, the buddy says, you know, the wait staff, the whomever, the person serving the food said, "I know what you want. You want some chicken." And the black guy just like, wow. Like, I heard about the South. See, these guys were on a road trip, you know, just traveling down south. And they were on a road trip. And it was just like, wow, is the South really like this? This is my first experience. And damn, like, just hit the wall of racism right out of the gate. First stop, once they crossed that line, down to the South. And that was the first thing. And so the black guy's thinking about it. And he's like, do I go off on this guy? Like, what do I do? Anyways, He ends up not saying anything. And then all the other guys, they end up ordering their food, and they sit at their table, and they start eating, right? They start eating. And then at the end of the day, you know, after they've had their food and stuff, you know, they pay and they leave, and they're talking, you know, the food was pretty good. And the black fella brings up to his friends, he goes, yeah, but damn, first place we stop, and already the racism, and the other guys are looking at him and saying, well, you know, let's just call the fella Mike, and he's just going, Mike, like, what do you mean? What was racist about going there? And he said, well, I went up to order, and Buddy automatically assumed that I'd like chicken because I'm black, and Buddy says to him, and then the guys start laughing, and they go, Mike, we were in a KFC. So, see, trust me, I improved that joke by doing the lengthy sort of idea and leading you on a bit of a story. The joke was bad. It was terrible on the internet. Like, it was really cringy. I mean, so I think I improved it somewhat by doing the sort of the stand-up version of the joke, by trying to tell a story more than try to tell a punchline joke, because it trust me, it did not read well. It did not read well. Yeah, 6 people in here and 4 likes. Let's check those numbers up. I know that joke was awful, but I didn't write it. I just tried to improve upon it. Sometimes the internet is a very not great place. Caden said Naruto X Luffy maybe. Not for this cat, but alright. Caden said they would never need protection. I get it. I get it. Because Luffy's a rubber. I got it. Yep. Naruto X is spotted number 3. No! Oh, wait. Which one? Haribel or Nelia? Which one we talking? That's the real question. It's the real question. Yeah, so... Anyways, alright, so what we're going to do, I think, because we're already... Yeah, we're a little bit into the stream here. What else? Is there anything else? I had a couple of small things before I opened up the VC. What else we got? I think I had something else. Oh yeah, there was this one thing. I thought it was kind of interesting. Now this isn't a joke, and this isn't that funny, but apparently it's something from the president of the UFC talking to Tucker Carlson or somebody like that, and he's talking about the fact that caring about who you vote for shouldn't divide people. Like, if you vote, he's basically saying, I believe he voted for, the way he's talking, he voted for Trump, and he didn't vote for Biden. But now that Biden became president, he's like, all right, he accepts it. Biden is my president, and I'll listen to my president sort of idea. But he did not vote for him. And he thinks, apparently, that anybody who didn't, anybody who judges someone based off who you voted for, I don't want to associate with those people. Those people are stupid. You should never judge someone based on their political choices. And to a degree, a lot of the comments and stuff, now once again, this is just a Facebook video, this is whatever, a lot of people saying, like, that's unifying. It's like, yeah, once the vote, like, I get the idea of the messages. Once the voting's over, and none of this fucking people storming the fucking, Congress and all that shit. But once the voting's over and the president has decided, he's like, yeah, we're all Americans, or we're all, whatever country, let's all band together and stand on a united front. That's a good message to have. But the way he went about it, and as he kept talking, I sat back and I said, well, no. That actually, by saying, I don't want to associate someone who judges someone based on their political party, they're also being judging. They're judging the people who do that. Because, for example, I don't disagree with the thought of, all right, once the dust is settled, let's just get behind, and try to support. But at the same time, there is a what's the word I'm looking for? Just the idea that you like, I absolutely judge people based on who they vote for. Like, if you're gonna vote for a guy like once again, I'm not gonna bring up the current people because that's, everyone just gets all butthurt about it. But let's say if you voted for like Hitler, if there was a dictator, option and was just against everything that you personally believe in, and there's somebody who voted for, or let's not even use Hitler. Let's just use someone that is absolutely the opposite. Now, whatever issues that you are for, they're against. They want to, if you're for abortion, they're against abortion. If they're for gun laws, you're against gun laws. If they're for this, for that, everything that you believe in, every single thing on every level, they are against. If you're an environmentalist, they want to fucking burn more fossil fuels, whatever it is. And, you're completely against that. You don't vote for that person. But then there's someone standing next to you who thinks that everything they're doing is the right thing. Well, no, the idea that you wouldn't like that person because of their political choices, well, their political choices are based in literally disagreeing with you on fundamental things. Fundamental human rights, fundamental choices, fundamental things. It goes beyond politics. So I think it was a very ignorant thing that people are only seeing the surface level of, So I'm not there for that, So, but yeah, that was something interesting I also saw today. That was something fun. Something interesting. Let's see. Joseph said, tomorrow there's going to be a special screening for Ant-Man and the Wasp for employees and a +1 at the theater I work at. Well, that's kind of cool. I haven't caught up. After Phase 3 was over, I haven't been into Phase 4 yet. Caden said, Haribel. Oh. Nah, Naruto's not good enough to get with any of the Bleach women. Joseph said, but that's not all. Whenever a highly anticipated movie premieres, we do a potluck and gaming party where one of our managers brings their Nintendo Switch and connects it to the projector. Wait, that sounds like fun. Joseph said, wait, did you say VC was going to be opened? Just to some mods. Not open to the generals, Joseph. Just to some mods for now. Depending on how the stream goes, we might open it publicly later. But not, if I do open it, it'll be to a select few for now. Caden said, the Eagles versus the Chiefs was a huge letdown. I didn't think. That was a great fucking game. It went right down to the wire, and the final score was 38-35. The Eagles fucked up, sure, but it was actually a good Super Bowl. Both teams were in it the entire game, up until the Eagles fucked up, but, in the fourth quarter. But other than that, it was a good game. The Chiefs obviously cheated, giving the quarterback steroids and performance-enhancing drugs. You think? I mean, if you're going to blame the Chiefs for that, I'm sure the Eagles were roided up too, I thought it was good. And listen, I lost my bet. I bet on the Eagles. But it is what it is. So, yeah, I think that covers everything there. I guess I'll open up the mod VC for now, anyways. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. And yeah, I'm gonna have to load up some other stuff. Yeah. All right. Gonna open up the mod discussion VC so that people can join. And let's see. Oh, I gotta add the browser source and shit. Always forget to do that crap. Scored OBS overlay. The stream kit. Yeah. Install for OBS. Voice widget. The mod discussion. Yep. And we'll grab that. And we just got to do a little bit of fun here. A little bit of fun. Add browser. I believe it's just normal browser. Yeah. Okay. And there we go. Right there in the corner. Yeah. There we go. All right. That way, if anybody wants to, any of the mods want to jump in for now, I'll just keep that open for a while, and we'll see how the night goes. See how the night goes with that. Let's see. Caden said it came down to the wire. It did. It did come down to the wire, and there were some people are talking about that controversial holding call and stuff like that. Once again, if you hold a guy, I know you if you hold a guy, you hold a guy. Like damn. Joseph said, "Oh, okay. Well, I don't think I'll even be able to join because I have a shift today, and I'm currently waiting for my shift to start." Well, that's too bad. As I said, we might not be opening it to the public. I mean, we might not be doing real VC at all. I might be in here all by my lonesome for the night. Who knows? But in the meantime, yeah, okay. Why don't we jump over and do some Valentine's Day quizzes, or not quizzes? Let's do some tier lists. Yeah, let's do some tier lists. So I think I can make this work. Let's try it. I believe it's this one. Stream reaction. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay. Yeah, all right. So I what I did was I searched for Valentine's Day pretty much on TierMaker here. And I guess we can pick and choose some quizzes to do. I don't know how good they are. Character's name Valentine. It's the first choice. Let's just see if I even know any of these people. Okay, these are literally just JoJo's characters and one more. Alright, there's JoJo, there's I can't even tell. It's the same three characters, and there's no Vincent Valentine. Yeah, no. There's my Valentine. Yeah, my Valentine and Vincent Valentine would win, I would say, but alright, so that wasn't a good choice. Let's try another one. Let's see. SAO Valentine's SAO as in Sword Art Online? What's SAO? SAO Valentine's gift tier list. SAO means Sword Art Online, but I don't significant. It'd be SO Valentine's Day gift, not significant and other. Whatever that means. But apparently it's a thing. Alright, so we're doing basically Valentine's gift tier list. I don't know what the SAO means, but sure, why don't we do that? Let's see. Can we do presentation mode? There we go, because that'll probably look prettier. That probably looks prettier on the stream there. Yeah, all right. Yeah, so maybe we'll do something like this for right now. Let's see. Caden said top 5 waifus in anime. In all of anime. Damn. Okay. I have my own choices for waifus, but let's see what you got. Number 1 is Unohana. Respectable choice. Number 2 is Esdeath. See, I'm not the big... Once again, Esdeath is sort of there for me. Don't hate her. Don't love her. She's just there. A lot of people love Esdeath, though. 3 is Haribel. Alright. I like the Bleach love. Where's Yoruichi, though? 4th is Smoothie. See, we didn't get enough from Smoothie. Like, I got Makino and Vivi all day. Like, I got other... There are other women. I got Shaki. Damn, I love myself an older woman. I got Shaki. Former fucking Empress of the fucking Kuja Pirates. You know, fucking badass. Still potentially was on the Rocks crew. People think that, like her mystery's over. No, she might have still been part of the Rocks crew for all we know. I mean, I got some I got some choices there. So, no, Smoothie is not my choice when it comes to One Piece women. And Olivier Marie Armstrong, of course, number 5. Great choice. Definitely in my top 10 as well. Great choice. Along with Izumi Curtis. I can never decide between those two. I think Izumi Curtis only because she's just as badass, just as or more powerful, and but she's also got that lovey-dovey side to her. Like, thank you so much for worrying, dear. It's like, goddamn, like she's the full package. You know, Izumi Curtis is up there. Ivan's in here and says, "Funny Valentine, all I see." Funny Valentine. There was one of the, Funny Valentine. Isn't that a JoJo thing? Yeah. Tenryo said, "Smoothie is such a disappointment. She's a commander yet does little to nothing." Yeah, that's the problem. Like, Whole Cake and Wano were much longer arcs and never showcased enough. This is a problem when you have such a huge huge ensemble of a cast. When you have too big a cast, which One Piece almost does at this point. Kane said, I think that's just because of the arc she was in. I mean, that's the problem. Look at it this way. You can never make everybody happy. Everyone complained that Wano was going on too long. Then, you know what the complaints are I hear now that Wano's over? There wasn't enough stuff in Wano. People said there wasn't enough stuff with Zoro. There wasn't enough stuff with, with the Red Scout. There wasn't enough stuff between other fights. There wasn't enough stuff with this, that, and the other. Like, people complain about a lot of potential stuff that would have made the arc longer, yet those same people just complained, when will this arc end? You can never make them happy, you know? So, and that's the problem. Like, Whole Cake could have gone on longer, and we could have had a lot more stuff with the commanders, with, Oven and Daifuku and fucking Smoothie and stuff like that. And, I mean, the Big Mom Pirates were also at Wano and did literally nothing. Other than Perospero and Big Mom, none of the Big Mom Pirates did absolutely fucking anything in Wano. There's another thing that could have, but all that would have done was extend Wano. And everybody was complaining that Wano was too long. So, I mean, it just is what it is. Caden said, Who's Who had the qualifications to challenge Queen and King. I agree. So I think that Who's Who and maybe Sasaki were the two closest. Who's Who is probably the strongest Topiropo, though. But he had no chance if he actually fought them. Yeah, like, I still think Queen and King could have beat Who's Who. But I think Who's Who was the strongest Topiropo. Queen and King would have dog walk Who's Who like he was a little child. But I don't think it's that far. And the reason I say that is because he at the very least, I would argue that Jinbei mid-diffed Who's Who. And I think that the fact that Jinbei had to try, and I still think Jinbei could have beat Queen, puts Who's Who higher than you say. I still think Queen wins, but I think Queen mid-diffs Who's Who. King low diffs Who's Who. That's what I think. Ivan said, Wano arc was overhyped for what would happen or who would be involved. Exactly. Here's the problem. Longest arc in One Piece, so much potential, and Oda had to pick and choose what he focused on. But when you have 9 Red Scabbards, when you have all the characters introduced, all the Beast Guards, you have 6 Topiropo, you have Yamato, you have Kaido, you have the 3 commanders of Kaido, you have any characters introduced in Wano, Hyoro the Flowers, and the other Red Scabbards, and people like that. You have all these characters. You have Hiyori, you have Kid and Killer, and everything going on there, and you have X-Ray. Like, you have all these characters that need appropriate screen time. Plus, let's not forget, your main goddamn character's the Straw Hat, which now number 10. We're never going to be able to focus enough on everybody in one arc. Now, do I agree that Oda should have focused more on Zoro in this arc? Absolutely. He also should have focused a lot more on Sanji and Whole Cake. But it is what it is. Kane said people will always find something to complain about. Even if something is perfect, they will find something to criticize it. Absolutely. Kane said, I think the super biased One Piece fans, Super biased One Piece fans in One Piece, I guess, by saying, of course, Luffy was defeated 4 times. It only makes sense, but another character did the same thing. They say it's bold. Yeah. I mean, see, that's the thing. It is what it is. One Piece fans are never happy. I've learned that the majority of One Piece fans are never happy. I agree that Wano has its problems. I still think Wano's a good arc overall. Wano's a good arc overall. Its hype moments are clearly some of the best hype moments post-time skip. That's just a fact. Okay? Some of the best hype moments. Roof Piece is probably the hypest thing we've had post-time skip. You know, it's arguably one of the best things since Marineford. One of the best things. And, you know, I haven't seen... The Odin flashback was awesome. The Odin flashback had a lot of stuff. There's still problems in every arc, but, like, there were some highs in Wano that were fantastic. You know? I guess it just depends on what you look for, right? Just depends on what you're looking for. All right, so. Let's do the. I mean, we could keep talking about One Piece, of course, guys, but we're gonna do the tier list too. Let's do that tier list as well. Okay, so basically, let's keep the rankings. The top is yes, please. So you definitely want it for Valentine's Day. Acceptable, sure that works. Really, and no, just no. All right. So I'm going to do this based on not what's for me, but gifts to give my wife. So in this case, for my wife, right? So let's see. Bath bombs. Now, my wife very rarely takes baths, but she loves cute bath bombs. For example, she bought these donut bath bombs. They're adorable. Never used them. Still in the packaging. She uses them as decoration. She really likes bath bombs. So I'm going to go off on a limb and say if I found some really cute ones that she doesn't have, I don't know, like the donut ones were cute, but if I found like cupcake shaped ones or something like that, or heart shaped ones, whatever, she'd like those. So I'd say, sure, that works. Like, I don't think that would be my here's your Valentine's Day gift and just give her bath bombs. Otherwise, it would go up a tier, I would say. But sure, that works. Yeah, if I was down to the wire, Books. Books, like, for me, would be a yes, please, if it was for me. But for my wife, if you're not a bookie, if you're not a big fan, of books and stuff like that, like if you don't read a lot, I'd say, I don't know a single book I would buy my wife that, so I would really, it's cross between really and sure that works. I think we're going to change this to, I don't know. I think it's got to go in really, because I can't think of a book that she would actually really, like, I guess really, like, that's the best I could do. I can't think of a book that she would, yeah, so we'll go there with that. Candy. My wife's more into chocolate than candy, but I would say, once again, sure that works, but I would need to give more than candy. More than candy. So, once again, bath bombs would be a good, like if you got a few things together, but as one gift, assuming that this is what you get them for Valentine's Day, candy alone is not enough. Bath bombs alone are not enough. Cards. No, just no. And the reason I'm going to go no, just no, is because I'm being a hypocrite here. I've bought cards in the past. But cards are one of the biggest wastes of money. Instead of spending that $4 or $5 on a fucking, assuming you don't go to the dollar store, let's assume you buy one of the singing cards, like the Hallmark cards, right? You buy a really nice card. Instead of spending that $5 on a fucking card, why don't you spend that $5 towards the bath bombs, the candy, and the books, and buy them more? Like, let's say we're going to spend $50 or $25, whatever, on a gift. Why would you spend an extra $5 on a card? Or $4? Why wouldn't you put that money towards to pay for the tax even? On a $25, let's say your budget was $25, and with tax coming to $28. It's like, all right. So cards are, and I've bought them before, and I know they do have their place. Cards have their place. Cards are good for one thing. Well, cards are good for a couple things, but cards are good in an adult life and an adult situation, forgetting children and stuff for a second. Cards are good for when people give money. Like when my aunt gives me a card, for my birthday or something like that, she puts like $20 in or a gift card, and she puts it between a funny card. She goes to the dollar store, she finds like a $2 card that with a little joke on it, like, you're old, and she gives it to that. That is the use of a card. But that's not even the gift. So a card is a gift? Fuck no. Even if you put $1 million check in that card, the card is still not the gift. The check is the gift for $1 million, right? So, no. Frames. Frames, I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to improve on the frames. I'm going to put frames as acceptable. And the reason I'm going to say that is because nobody just buys a frame. You buy a frame and you put a picture in it. And I did that one year. I think it was her birthday. she had 2 family dogs. They're both dead now, unfortunately, but she had 2 family dogs, and I bought her this frame years ago. I bought a really nice frame, and I got her mother to send me a really nice picture. It was a 2-thing frame of the 2 dogs as puppies separately, and I got 2 really nice pictures, got them printed off properly with proper photo paper, and boom, stuck it in there in a frame. And that was her gift. And I think I bought flowers and that. And she really loved it. It's still one of her favorite things. It's showcased in her office, So that's really nice. So frames can work, assuming, as I said, I'm going to add to that, assuming you do something with the frame. If you put a really sentimental or nice picture in the frame, then I think that's perfectly acceptable as a Valentine's Day gift. Jewelry, of course, is always a winner. Regardless whether you spend $30 or $300, as long as you pick something that you know they're going to like in their style, and sometimes that's difficult. It's not as easy. You can't just go out and buy any diamond ring. You can't just go out and buy any diamonds. Some things women find ugly. My wife does not like wearing yellow gold. She hates the look of yellow gold. So I don't buy her gold shit. Granted, sometimes she does buy some Kate Spade gold shit, and I'm like, what the fuck? You've told me time and time again, never buy your yellow gold, and then you go out and buy it for yourself. Bit of a hypocrite thing there, but I just know for a fact that, yeah, jewelry sometimes can be difficult to buy for your significant. It can be difficult to buy for your woman, but or your wife or your girlfriend or whatever, but jewelry is usually a winner. Just by itself, jewelry usually wins, whether it's earrings, whether it's necklace, whether it's rings, whatever. Cosmetics. I'm gonna go with, for my wife, I'm gonna go no. No, just no. And the reason I'm gonna go no, just no for my wife is that she already buys her shit, and she's a bit of a, what I call the hair, nails, clothes, shoes type of woman. She does like her clothes and she does like her shoes. And she likes to do her hair and stuff like that. But she's not... I'll put it to you this way. My bathroom counter doesn't look any different from when she's here and when she's not here. It's got toothbrushes and toothpaste and some soap on the counter. You know what I mean? That's all it's got. She doesn't completely ruin... Like, yes, she has her cupboard with, her conditioner, and she's got her makeup bag and her different stuff, but she's not going crazy. She's got some extra products, more products than the guy has. Of course she does. She's still a girl. But at the end of the day, it's not her biggest priority. She doesn't go out and buy the super expensive, she doesn't draw on her eyebrows every day. She doesn't put on mascara every day. She doesn't do a whole lot of makeup very often, and lipsticks and all that stuff. So... way down on the list for my wife, but I do know that some cosmetics, some brands cost like hundreds of dollars, and I'm not kidding. Like, I saw something that was like $119 for some type of like 2-pack of lipstick or something. I went, what the absolute fuck, So, or maybe they were eyebrow crayons or something absolutely ridiculous. So, yeah, for some women, this could be a yes, please. If they're fake nails and fake that and fake all that shit, sure. But no. Roses and flowers. By themselves. You know what? I'm going to go with acceptable. I'm going to go with a big acceptable. Below frames, but acceptable. Not quite sure that works. And I'll tell you why. Is because roses and flowers. Every single time my wife comes here, I always show up to the airport with a bouquet of flowers. I missed one time. That's because it was late and all the shops were closed. But I've brought her flowers every single time at the airport. And that's just a bouquet. Now, I would argue that just one little bouquet of flowers is not acceptable alone for Valentine's Day, and that's what we're doing here. The reason it's unacceptable is one year I spent like $100 and something. I got a beautiful vase, and it came with the right assortment of flowers in this beautiful thing. It came in a really nice vase and stuff. It came with the card. It came with the whole enchilada. But it was ordered through a flower shop. It was a flower arrangement. So depending on the level, and now, as I said, when I say roses and flowers, I'm doing the same thing with the frames. As long as you do something with the roses and flowers, as long as you do something with the frames, by itself it can potentially be a singular Valentine's Day gift. Stuffed animals. Sure, that works. I'll put it between bath bombs and candy. My wife likes, like, not necessarily the dark chow back there or whatever, but I've bought my wife, like, a plushie Yoshi before and stuff like that. I've bought her plushies of different things. What was the other thing I bought her? Plushie, not Yoshi. I did buy her Yoshi, but what else did I buy her? Wasn't a Baby Yoda or something, but something like that. You guys know what I mean. So something like that, is what it is. So I would say sure that works, but only they're few and far between for my wife. I mean, once again, if your wife loves plushies, or if your girlfriend loves plushies, then that might be a yes please. But stuffed animals, they work. They work in a pinch. And date night. Date night is a big yes please. Because date nights are expensive, and any woman with half a brain knows they're expensive. All right? Because I don't know how anybody else does a date night. When I do a date night, even if I don't have the money to, I mean, it's one day a year. It's no different than, like, you got anniversary, you got birthday, you got Christmas, you got Valentine's Day. You only have 4 or 5 days. You can compartmentalize all the days where you're supposed to sort of spend the money and go all out in about 7 days out of 365, give or take, right? 7 odd days. Out of those 7 days, you should really be able to splurge a little bit. So even when you're, the bank's not looking so hot, now I'm not saying if you're already in the red, and you're in debt, it may be not a great idea. But even when I'm like, I really shouldn't be spending the money, I shouldn't buy that video game, I shouldn't buy that manga volume and stuff, I'll still spend the money to go to eat to a nice restaurant if it's Valentine's Day. So yeah, absolutely. Date night is always a winner. You pick a restaurant she likes, you buy, the nice thing, you get her an appetizer, get her a glass of wine, get her all that stuff, buy the glass of wine for the table. Make sure, and don't be worried about take-home stuff. As I said, if she's full by the end of the night, my wife usually is after an appetizer and a plate, you still order her dessert. Order her dessert and take it home. Don't forget and dress up nice. Wear a dress shirt. Make it a night out. Even if you go to, like, and I'm not saying go to a place that has like $200 steaks or anything like that. You don't need to go that far. But you can go to a nicer restaurant. Just don't bring her to a pub. Don't bring her to a Boston Pizza, right? Bring her to somewhere a little nicer. Somewhere with tablecloths, right? Bring her to some place with tablecloths. It's still going to cost you over $100 for the pair of you, sometimes up to $200, but between $100 and $200, you get dessert, you get appetizers, you get entrees, you get some wine. Wear a dress shirt, tuck it in, wear nice shoes, wear a watch, let her dress up, let her wear a nice dress, and then that's always an acceptable evening. So yeah, and that's it. So those are my rankings. Those are my rankings about it, right? So yeah. All right, so let's catch up with the chat now. I thought that would go quicker, guys. Sorry about that. I would have checked back halfway through. Let's see. Kane said, I don't know why people are still trying to compare Naruto, Luffy, and Ichigo's stories when all three of them stories have nothing in common with the other ones. Yeah, I mean, realistically, Ichigo's story is probably the most tragic. I would say. I would argue that Ichigo's has the most tragedy. By the time you first meet him at the beginning of the story, he holds the most guilt and the most tragic backstory. I don't think it's a contest. Naruto and Luffy are sort of, you can see the argument for either or, but I think Naruto sort of wins out. I think Luffy's got the nicest childhood out of all three of them, but I don't know why they compare them either. It's just because they're the big three. Kane said, Luffy's story is about a man that wants to be the prettiest person. Okay. Naruto's story is about a man that wants to prove to everyone he's deserving of the respect. Ichigo is a story of a man going with the flow. No, Ichigo's story is... Well, Ichigo's story... Oh, I thought we were talking their backstories. Okay. Ichigo's backstory is the best one. But as a story, yeah, Ichigo... See, those are character-driven stories with a goal. Ichigo is not a character goal story. That's what sets him apart, and that's what makes him, in my opinion, the best of the three. But that's just me. But I agree with the assessment overall. The prettiest person thing, weird. Ivan says, I think they'll only compare the stories by most impactful event rather than how it flows to the beginning to end. Probably. Justin says, I'm here. Hello, Justin. Happy Valentine's Day. The love expert. So it's time for my objective opinions. I have only had one question, which was rejected literally yesterday. Damn, on February 13th, we just talked about that. We just talked about the fact, or we were talking about it at the beginning of the stream. I said that people who basically break up with people, unless a super event, somebody dies or somebody's caught cheating, there's no reason to break up with anybody between January 1st and November 14th, or February 14th. There is no reason. There is no reason. You're just a dick. Like, seriously. Kane said, usually when I see a biased One Piece fan criticize Naruto, it's about the animation or the fiddler nothing really criticize the story until they talk about how aliens don't make sense. Yeah, I mean, yeah, One Piece fans can be really weird. Let's see. Kane said, kind of the same thing with a biased Naruto fan towards the One Piece story. Of course. Kane said, and both the One Piece fan and Naruto biased community both say that Ichigo is a boring character. Yeah, because both those stories don't know that, guess what? Your story was already done. You know by who? Ash fucking Ketchum. His theme song is literally your character, okay? Naruto and Luffy are literally, I want to be the very best, like no one ever was, bam, 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 bam. That is literally the Pokemon tagline from before both stories were started, is literally can define Luffy and Naruto in a song lyric from the Pokemon opening, okay? So it's very, very frustrating to see those people say Ichigo's a bad character or a poor character when literally we can sum up your character in one sentence before they were even made. Like, I'm not saying that Luffy or Naruto are necessarily bad characters, but to, you know, when you shit on a better character, you could argue, or even a good character at the very least. Let's not use better. Let's try to be unbiased. But a solid, much differently written character than all the 90s and 2000s protagonists were. Ichigo's the lone exception for the most part. Someone who didn't have a goal to be the very best in their universe. You know, you can clearly tell that they limited reading, right? Let's see. Caden said, me personally, I think all three shows, mangas, the power system are all either overrated, which I mean they make the power stronger than what they are, the exact opposite. Yeah, I mean, once again, long-running shonen are always going to have their similar problems. Ivan said, cosmetics seems like a hassle to get them. It does. Also, I always wonder why roses come in different colors and not stick to one or two for the day. I mean, roses come in different colors because just for different hybrids of plants, right? I have roses. I have yellow roses and white roses growing in my lawn, and, you know, I don't question it. I just like them. Judge said, if I had to buy a partner something, I would go with plushies, because if she is a nerd enough to date me, they most likely love plushies. Well, I'm a huge fucking nerd, and my wife is not, so... but yeah, I mean, once again, if your wife is a nerd, if your girlfriend's a nerd, then, you know, buying her Baby Yodas and Yoshis and, you know, anime plushies, she's gonna love you, right? That would be a yes, please. Miss said, what's up? Just got back from dinner with Clover. How was your dinner, Misk? How was your dinner? So you did a date night. Did you pay for it, Misk? Did you pay for it? Oh no. Oh no. What's the stream doing now? You stupid thing. Hopefully the stream's still going, guys. Apparently it's having a hiccup according to YouTube preview. Caden said Valentine's Day cards are overrated. Absolutely. Caden said, I'm just saying if I know how to cook and can make a decent meal, why do I have to pay $200 to go to a restaurant when I can make the exact same food at home? Here's the reason. I'm a good cook. Okay? I'm even, at some days, I'm even a great cook. Not chef, but great cook. There are some things I can't make. If you do not constantly, cookbook after cookbook, there are some things you cannot make. That is why you go to the nicer places. And it's not about necessarily the food. It's about getting out of the house and enjoying trying something new. For example, I'm a great cook. I can't make sushi. I've never tried before. So I know for a fact that a dude who's behind the counter of a sushi bar who's been doing it for 42 years, I can't compete with that guy. His sushi is going to be better than mine, even if I have 5-10 years of training. So am I never going to have sushi for Valentine's Day? Or if my wife's in the mood for sushi, do we just go to a nice sushi restaurant? You see what I'm saying? You can't be that diverse to cook everything. Some people are. Usually they're professionals. You know, there's some things, you know, even my mother can't make. My mother's 60 years old, and she's one of the best cooks I've ever met. And it's who I learned from. And there's some shit she can't make, right? That the restaurant just makes better. Simple as that. So that's why you do it, man. That's why you do it. And it's more about the experience. It's more about the atmosphere, the going out, the trying new things, trying new foods, you know. It's more about that. Ivan said, I don't think it's worth getting cards unless you're far away. Exactly. Kane said the most free. Autocorrect, yes. From the Luffy thing, yes. Joseph said, look, I might have been rejected, but they're still one of my closest friends, so personally I'm fine with it. Alright, I mean, cool. I mean, as long as you're not down in your sorrows, because I know for a fact that a certain... I don't know if I'm allowed to bring this up, so I'll keep it anonymous, but somebody in a Discord just got rejected today. Apparently being cheated on or two-timed or whatever. And that's really unfortunate, right? That's really shitty. And they're upset by it. And I mean, yeah, it sucks. And it's hard. Even though I said the words, like, you gotta move on, she's a waste of time, all that shit. It's like, well, yeah, that's hard. That's hard to do, you know? It's easy to say, much harder to do. Just said, if we're talking about the big three, all of them are great. Yep. No, Naruto's not great. The main difference is, Toriko is great. The main difference is, Bleach has the best power system. Yeah. One Piece has the best lore and world. Yeah. And Naruto has my favorite fights. I mean, not mine, but okay. That's fair argument. Justice said, we're still here. It's all going. All right, cool. Calder Skipper's in here and says, Happy Valentine's Day, Griever. Happy Valentine's Day to you, Calder. And, by the way, Misk, if you're still in here, you can jump in the VC anytime I'm sitting in it. If you're around and you want to jump in. And let Neve know that she can jump in and stuff like that. Or whoever else. If you want to, if you have time. If not, no big deal. Let's see. Ivan said, Ichigo was the one character who I think could have died permanently if his hollow white didn't made a deal that he would take over. I mean, you never know. See, I like the idea that the main character can die. That's why Kenga was good. Kane said the best backstories for the big three goes Naruto number 1. No. Naruto's is not that great. He grew up, he never knew his parents. So he can't miss what he never had. I would argue it is worse. We've already had this conversation before, but it is worse to be a 8 or 9-year-old and grow up happy and then lose your parent, one of your two parents, the one you're in love and the one you love the most, your mom or your dad, and you lose them after knowing them, after feeling a mother's love, and then losing that love is way worse, no contest, than never knowing the love to begin with. I'm not saying knowing the love is easy peasy. I'm saying that it's worse because you had it and it got taken away. That's worse. It's always going to be worse. So, yeah. And he lived with that guilt of his two sisters growing up without their mom that entire time. Naruto can cry me a fucking river. Ichigo is literally that when people do the arrow thing for power scaling, way beyond. I'm not saying Naruto's backstory isn't sad. The villagers treated him like shit. They did. That's sad. He was a little bullied. He was bullied by the village he was in. That sucks. Hard on a kid. Yeah, I get it. I was bullied. I would still take all the bullying Naruto endured over my mom dying when I was 8. Sorry. 100%. Luffy's backstory is the tamest of the three. I agree. Kane said, I'm just saying overall Naruto's way better written character than Ichigo. No fucking way. Naruto's not a great written character. Naruto's a decently written character. He's pretty good. Ichigo is the best of the three written characters. He doesn't change much because his backstory already molded him. See, Naruto, we saw the evolution. See, this is why people think he's a worse written character, is because Ichigo's already hardened. He's already been hardened by the time we meet him at the beginning of the story. And he does change subtly, but he's already been hardened by his experience from his backstory. His backstory completely 180'd him. He's already had three-dimensional storytelling and progression by the time we meet him in Chapter 1. You can argue that we should see that in the story, but no. That's like when people always complain, oh, another Spider-Man origin story. Oh, another Batman origin story movie, you know? People are like, can't we just get Batman at the height of his career? Can't we just see Batman in his prime at the very beginning? We know he's Batman. That's what Ichigo is. Ichigo's already there. We already know he's Ichigo, he's a badass. He's already developed. And people don't like that because they're like, well, I didn't see it on-screen evolution. You don't need to. I don't need to see Batman see his parents die for the 800th time and go through the training and learn how to be Batman. I don't need to see that. I can jump in. That's why Arkham Asylum was one of the best, if not the best Batman game of all time, because it jumped in. He's already got his rogues gallery. He's already a seasoned veteran. He's already fucking Batman. I don't need to see Batman become Batman to enjoy the game or the story, you know? It's just a different type of character. So comparing the two ways that those characters are written, you can compare Ash and Naruto and Luffy and all these characters who want to be the best there ever was. You cannot compare differently written characters. That just doesn't make sense, you know? Because they're not going to evolve. Not that much anyways. Because they're already complete. Caden said, then let's agree to disagree. Fair enough. Justice said, with my romance expertise, indeed, the most overrated gifts for Valentine's Day is flowers. Nah. I mean, the most overrated gift? I'm surprised chocolates aren't on there. I guess they were including candy as chocolates. If so, I would put it a little higher. But I would say chocolates. Chocolates and flowers are usually the two go-tos. So yeah, that's fair. Overrated, but still work. Justice said, hot take or not, flowers are overrated. I mean, I buy her flowers every time. She always appreciates them. It's a tried and true. Kane said, so Sasuke's backstory is basically the same as Ichigo's backstory. I mean, yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Except there's a difference. There's the revenge thing. He doesn't live with the guilt. See, Sasuke isn't written to live with the guilt of surviving family. So, no, it's not the same. The backstory has a lot of similarities, but the two directions it took, Sasuke's got stunted by the revenge storyline, in my opinion. Ichigo's worked with the guilt storyline. The guilt storyline works better, flows better. See, there was nobody surviving for him to like wallow in guilt, like I could have saved my mom. If I had saved my mom, my brother wouldn't suffer. No, my brother's the asshole in this regard, you know? So it's sort of different. It adds up differently. Similar, good call, Caden. Similar, but different. I haven't said they're overrated. Everybody get them. I mean, yeah. Justice said, Caden, Sasuke has a very different backstory than Ichigo. I mean, there's the similarities. The parents murdered, and he was a nice guy, and then he became an emo. But Ichigo didn't become an emo. Ichigo lost his mother, but he grows up. His maturity allowed him to live on. Sasuke never got past it. That's true, too. Justice said, I get it as both of them lost their family, but Ichigo still had people to take care of him and a responsibility for his family and friends. Sasuke had none of that. He just had his hatred. Fair. Kane said, what I'm trying to say is Ichigo lost his mother in front of him. Sasuke lost his entire clan in front of him. True, but the end result, the effect that had on them was far different as characters. Once again, Sasuke's backstory isn't a bad backstory, and the revenge storyline isn't bad, but Ichigo's works better for his narrative in that regard, I would argue. And who the fuck is texting me? Oh, my wife. Speaking of Valentine's Day, Got to respond. Been trying to catch up with emails. Let's go. All right. So, so I guess Misk isn't jumping in for right now. Even though he's back home. He said he might jump in later though. So, and I don't know if Band or Neve or anybody's going to be here. And like, Jesus Christ, I put the condoms here and everything for Neve, and look at this shit. Look at this shit. Neve's not even here to fucking talk about the craziness of the condoms. Like, Jesus. I put the condoms. It's a Valentine's Day stream. There's condoms in the background. They're not, and I didn't go crazy. They're not extra large. They are the large ones, though. As I said, you pay more money for the large ones. Like, seriously, the whole idea of guys with big dicks, like, being better, no, it's a pain in the ass. Okay? You pay more money for condoms. It takes way longer, way more difficult to piss with a hard on. And, and morning wood when you're a teenager and trying to go to work in the morning and you're still half asleep. Yeah, I don't care how tight your jeans are. Try hiding that shit. You gotta wear like 3 pairs of boxers and 2 pairs of jeans to try to hide it. Because it is not comfortable doing it the way that people do. Oh, hide it in your waistband. No, that does not work. That shit does not work. It's uncomfortable as fuck. So yeah, there are a lot of downsides. Let's see. Ichigo still had to take care of him responsibility. Ivan said, well, both Ichigo and Sasuke lost something to a third party involved that caused their deaths was the reason or not. Yeah, there are similarities there. There are similarities. That's absolutely true. Alrighty, so why don't we, what else were we going to do? I said tier lists, top 10s. Yeah, okay, well, why don't we'll switch back to the other format for a minute. Because we already did a tier list. We did a tier list, so let's go to Stream Live. Bam. Alright. So let's jump back to this section, and why don't we do a top 10? All right. So since we're talking anime manga, since I got a lot of anime manga people in here, why don't we talk about, these are in no particular order, but favorite anime/manga, romance anime mangas. All right? So why don't you guys give me yours, or any that you read. You know, and if you don't read a romance manga, one of the general genres is romance, what's a favorite love story in a manga you read then? Like what's a power couple? What's a love story within a manga that you enjoy, right? If you don't read any of these, or any for that regard. Quick shout out to Dead Man's Recipe, also known as Mary Grave, because that's not really a romance manga, but the entire premise is a man trying to bring, the entire goal is of that manga, which is cut way too short. It's only like 40-something chapters. Very good manga, very well drawn, beautiful art style. Mary Grave, A Dead Man's Recipe is the story of a man who's immortal, who's trying to bring his dead wife back to life. That's his goal. So that's romantic as fuck, but that's the story. But it's not a romance manga. You know, it's not a will they, won't they. It's not a boy meets girl. It's none of that stuff. It's already established. So it's more of an action adventure. So it's not on my list, but it does deserve a shout out. And there's more than these. I like a lot of romance ones. That's for sure. So let's see. All right, so I'll give a few of mine. I've got let's do some popular ones first. So I've got Sailor Moon, obviously, you know, and once again, I can't think of anything else that tops these. So I got Sailor Moon. Easy, it's a classic. It's one of the original heroines and stuff. You know, she's one of the original, the goats, as it were, is Sailor Moon, of course. Meatball Head herself. And yeah, with the tuxedo mask stuff, it was a really good story going forward. I mean, it was remember, they cut a lot out when we were kids and stuff, like in the English, and I did rewatch it as a teenager and stuff when I could find like the more adult versions, and it's definitely a good love story. You know, it's one of those ones that transcends time and space, and there's reincarnations and all this shit. Sailor Moon is just a well done action, well done adventure, well done romance, well done plot. Sailor Moon is just one of the GOATs, right? So easily on the list. Another one, most people probably don't know about it. It's very short. It's only like 20 chapters, if that. I don't even think it's that long. But it's called W Change, and it was a very short. It had a one shot, and then it ended up being a short manga story about two Yakuza families, a bit of a Romeo and Juliet thing going on between Yakuza families. And it was nice. It was simple. The art style was cool. It had a lot of character and a lot of quick development. Like, this easily could have been a 100-chapter series. I think it was over in like 20-odd chapters. But easily could have been 100-plus chapters and developed the same story, the same plot points, just stretched out way longer, maybe a little more cast, that kind of idea. It was just a really good... I just really enjoyed it. It's a quicker read. You know, you can read it in I don't think one sitting, because the chapters are kind of long, but probably, you know, you could do it in a week. You could read it in a weekend, and yeah, it's pretty good. What's another one? Rosary Plus Vampire, and its sequel. It's a little bit harem, a little ecchi, and a little harem-esque, but it's got enough shonen elements. This one's on the list more so for the fact that not so much me, but certain things were cooler to watch when you were a teenager. Like, you're already the weird guy. Like, when I was growing up, you're already the weird guy who watches the weird anime, right? You're watching cartoons. Like, this is before like Family Guy and stuff. So if you watch cartoons, you were a little kid. There weren't adult cartoons that anybody really watched, you know? We only had cable back then and stuff like that, so nobody watched anything like that, right? So if you watch cartoons, you know, it was like, what are you doing? What are you, a little kid watching cartoons? And if you watched the cartoons that were a little more adult, it was like, oh, the Japanese cartoons are so weird and stuff like that, right? So the good thing about things like Rosary Plus Vampire, now once again, Rosary Plus Vampire was a little later, but when you read the mangas and you were reading the weird backwards comics and all that stuff, if you had some action and some coolness and some blood and guts and some vampires, some manly stuff, it wasn't as made fun of because you had an argument. Like, you weren't just sitting there watching Love Hina and being like, I like Love Hina. Love Hina's not on my list, but I did enjoy Love Hina for the most part when I first watched it. But there's another one, you know, like, you weren't just watching, oh, why are you watching such a girly, like, a romance cartoon? Like, what's wrong with you? You know, like, it wasn't as accepted, you know. Back then you also had to hide the fact that you watched Sailor Moon. Even though everybody was watching Sailor Moon, everyone pretended they didn't when you were a boy. So yeah, Rosary Plus Vampire had a lot of good elements. It had some badass story beats. Rosary Plus Vampire is pretty cool. So there's 3 on my list. There's 3 on my list easily. Let's check in with the chat and see what the chat is saying about it. Let's see. Where did I end off on? Oh, right here. Just Caden saying a couple things. The main difference between Ichigo and Sasuke, that Ichigo still had all of his other family members after his mother's death. Sasuke, on the other hand, lost everyone he was related to. No, he didn't. He had Itachi. But he wanted revenge because Itachi was the one to kill him. And also, see, it's totally different directions, too. It's totally different directions. For a lot of reasons. But once again, like, the fact that Ichigo had other family members and he felt guilty that he took away his dad's wife and his sister's mother. He carried that, and that hardened him. So him having the family was almost a burden in a different way, you know? Caden said, Ryuma kill all the big three negative difficulty. Nothing in any of those universes. Oh yeah, isn't that from that fucking reincarnated as a slime shit? Yeah, sure. If he can do it, sure, whatever. I don't do cross universe for this very reason. Ivan said the ancient Magus Bride is one I can think of right now. I don't know about Date Alive. I don't know about those ones. I've never heard of those actually. Caden question mark. Justice said I used to watch a lot of romance shows like Oran High School Host Club. Yeah, I mean why not? Yeah, I know that one. That's pretty good. I haven't watched it or seen it in a long time, so I wouldn't be able to judge it fairly right now, but when I was younger, but then I went through an edgy phase and I stopped, I regret that immensely. Everyone regrets their teenage angst phase. Everyone regrets their edgy phase, their emo phase. You're wearing your hood up and the world sucks. You know, that kind of shit. Let's see. Yeah, so those are some of mine. What else we got here? As an honorable mention, I did put 7 Deadly Sins. Now, because a heavy part of 7 Deadly Sins is romance, right? And I believe it is actually listed under on Wiki. Is it listed as no? See, as a genre, it's not listed as romance. That's why it's more of an honorable mention. It's listed as adventure fantasy. So once again, that could be. You could argue that that's wrong because romance is a very heavy element there. But yeah, I have 7 Deadly Sins because literally all the main characters have a love story. The entire cast has a love story. Meliodas has a great love story. I would argue. Him and Elizabeth have a great love story. Bon and Elaine, the lolly thing's creepy, but a good love story. King and Deanne, good love story overall. Not bad. The amnesia thing really ruining Deanne as a character for me, but, still a love story. Merlin, once again, she sucks, but at the time we didn't know that. Escanor, just the man, the myth, the legend. So all of them, even some of the other characters. You had Gilthunder and Margaret, a big thing in the first season. One of the best moments in the first season. I am now more powerful than any of the 7 Deadly Sins. And this whole time, Gilthunder pretending to be evil. Meliodas, no, it was this whole thing. It was awesome. It was all for the woman he loved. That's really good. There's Griever and Veronica to a degree. You have, oh Christ, what else do you got? There's more than that. Gilthunder and Margaret. I'm forgetting somebody here. Oh, Zeldris and Gelda. That's another one. Like, heavy romance. Everyone is in a relationship. It all is developed and grows over the manga. That 7 Deadly Sins is a big one. 7 Deadly Sins is definitely a big one. Kane said Deer was a good show. Deer? Like Deer as in... Let's see. Deer show. As in the animal? I don't see a show called Deer unless you meant Deer with an A. Let's see. Deer show. Deer is a TV series in 2020. A documentary series on Apple TV. About how Apple products have changed their lives. I don't think that's what you meant. Maybe. Let's see. Josh said, looking at only romance in 7 Deadly Sins, the only one I like is my goat, Gother. Oh yeah, there's another one. And Nadja. Gother and Nadja. There's another one. And his love story. And obviously Escanor and Merlin. Like, see, that was a good one. You didn't like... Okay, Gilthunder and Margaret you can't dislike. That was just a simple love story. There's nothing to dislike about that love story. You didn't like Zeldris and Gelda? What the hell? Kane said Aizen and Madara kills Escanor, little difficulty until he enters the one ultimate mode. Probably, yeah. Ivan said Full Metal Alchemist with Edward and Winry be good at romance. Yeah, I like that one. Edward and Winry make a good romance, especially in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. As Edward finally, one thing that the original anime lost out on was the fact that Edward eventually grew, and no one remarked on it. Nobody noticed, and nobody remarked on it up until he's eating the sandwich in Winry's room when we're about to go to the final battle, sort of idea. He's finally taller than Winry. He actually was growing, and it's subtly shown and never fully realized until he's standing taller than Winry. It's kind of a cool shot. A lot of people point to it. But yeah, Edward and Winry made a slow burn development there in the back. Caden said, I think Aizen and Madara would be a power couple. I mean, if you're into that, then why not? Damn. Last little bit of coffee and it's cold. Just said, I liked Bond, and I feel like his love story mostly worked. It did. It was about him moving in. Because I didn't have enough attachment to the romance to be invested in it. I mean, yeah, see, the thing is that he was in love, and he was trying to bring her back the entire time. So, I thought Meliodas and Elizabeth's one was really good, because it was a will they, won't. It was very much a who's Liz, will Meliodas get, like, when we found out the actual truth, that was a big thing. Oh, Daddy Eddie and Mon Speet was good, too. Daddy Eddie and Mon Speet was good. That was also a good, very subtle, very in the background, but still a love story. Joseph said, Gil Thunder and Margaret are great. Yeah, they are. I wish Gil Thunder... See, Gil Thunder and Hauser and all the humans ended up getting the Yamcha treatment. They all got the Yamcha Tien Krillin treatment. They got the human treatment when the Saiyans were the important ones. They got the DBZ treatment. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Zeldris I just don't like. Like, for no specific reason, I just don't like him. I don't know. He just doesn't sit right with me. I mean, that's fair. That's fair enough. I don't know why. He's kind of the GOAT. He's the GOAT of villains in that series. Or anti-heroes, I should say. But, yeah. Let's see. What else we got here? Well, another one is Vision of Escaflowne. A lot of people don't know that series. And I'm not talking about the movie, even though you could count the movie version. I'm counting the anime version. The anime of Vision of Escaflowne. Very short, like 26-odd episodes. 25, 26 episodes. Hitomi and Vaughn. Very good love story. Very good. Voiced by the late Kirby Morrow. That still brings me to tears. You know, I'm going to cancel Netflix soon because of their fucking stupid charging shit. Like their stupid new policy. But they just brought out the 3rd season of Inuyasha, and hearing Kirby Morrow's voice and knowing he's never going to voice Moroku ever again, especially with the sequel series Yashahime out. He voiced the first episode, and then he committed suicide. Very, very sad. You know, that's it. Anyways, Vision of Escaflowne, I really meant to make a whole video on him. He was probably my favorite voice actor who's died. Who you're never going to hear again. He's right up there. I can't really I can't really think of anybody else who meant more to me growing up as an anime voice actor than Kirby Morrow did. Who passed? I mean. Yeah. I mean, Kevin Conroy obviously is Batman, but for anime. So, yeah, he voiced the main character of Vaughn. And there was a couple of love stories in that series, of course. Short, sweet, to the point. Very good series. The OST was amazing. The voice cast was amazing. It was just a great story, and it was a great love story. Great love story. Let's see. Kane said, "Dears." It's an older anime show. All right, let's look it up. Dears. Anime. Dears is a Japanese... Oh, it looks like Chobits or some shit. Like, Ah My Goddess is another good one. Ah My Goddess is very good. 13-episode anime was adapted. Japanese manga. It had 8 volumes, okay? Humanity made unprecedented contact with extraterrestrial life. Okay, I've never heard of this one. Honestly, I've never heard of this one. Released in 2001 till 2005. Okay. All right. No, I've never seen that one before. Interesting. And yeah, so... Oh, here's another one that let's talk about... No, you know what? We'll take a break from that. I need to grab some water anyways. Ivan said, would Asuma and Kurina from Naruto consider romantic? I don't even know who they are. Asuma and... Who are these people? I blocked out most of Naruto because it was terrible. Oh, her. She's awesome. I love her. Who's she with? Asuma? I mean, sure. I don't remember there being much between them, but sure, why not? I mean, once again, since you guys, like, if you don't read a lot of romance mangas, as I said, like, Seven Deadly Sins doesn't count as a romance, but if there's a love story within a manga that you really enjoyed, like Full Metal Alchemist, Winry and Edward and stuff, feel free to say, Kisuke and Yoruichi are my favorite, or Rukia and Renji or something. Like, you're more than willing, or in One Piece, Shaki and Rayleigh, like, Makino and Shanks, or what's your favorite ship? Like, what's your favorite power couple, but what's your favorite ship? What's your favorite waifu? Anything love related is more than free, guys. More than free. Yeah, I'm just gonna run quickly and grab some water to bring back. So we'll be right back, and then we'll do another tier list. We'll look for another tier list. Yeah, we'll find another tier list to do. How does that sound? I think that sounds pretty good. All right, so let's see if I can I get this done right again? That'd be cool. I'm gonna try to do the intermission thing, guys. Let's see if it works. Bam. Okay, I'm back. Surprise, surprise. Surprised to see me. Alright, let's go. Let's see. What are people saying? What are people saying? So yeah, I think they would count. Ivan, they would absolutely count. Justice said, Asume and Karina, don't know how to say the name, have a background romance that was never really seen, but they had a kid. I mean, if you like them as a couple, you like them as a couple. Justice said also, Gajiel and Levy from Fairy Tale. One of my favorite spelt wrong romances. Absolutely, yeah. I like Gaji and Levy. Gajiel and Levy. I always like that as a romance. Urza and Jalal is also a good one. Urza and Jalal is a good one. Ivan said, darn, I forgot about that. I stopped watching after the Wizard tournament. I mean, a lot of people did. A lot of people stopped watching after the Grand Magic Games. Joseph said, favorite spelt wrong ship. Don't really have one, really. Power couple, it's not in manga, but probably Raven and Beast Boy. A lot of people like that. Green Arrow and Black Canary, and Cassandra Cain and Stephanie Brown from DC Comics. Alright. Alright. I always liked, in my DC, I always liked from the Justice League Unlimited and stuff, and Kevin Conroy and stuff, I always enjoyed Batman and Wonder Woman together. There was a lot of episodes, a lot of tension between the romantic tension there, between Diana and Bruce. I always really liked that. I really like that. I wish it went somewhere. Just said waifu is Mirko and Yoruichi. Mirko? Who's Mirko? Only true answer in my book. Yoruichi, absolutely. Yoruichi's damn, like, top tier waifu, 100%. Just said the closest thing to a favorite spell wrong ship in recent years is Sagiri and Yuzuriya. Who are these people? I think I know them. From Hell's Paradise. Are they a couple though? I mean, that's a ship. Yeah, okay, you ship them. That's fine. That's fair. Waifu is Mirko. Who's Mirko? Mirko anime. Let's see. Oh, is she from My Hero Academia? The rabbit woman? I mean, all right, sure. I don't like My Hero Academia that much, so. Ivan said, I don't know how good was Gohan and Videl in their high school. I loved Gohan and Videl. Gohan and Videl was short, sweet, simple. I loved it. I really did. I loved Gohan and Videl as a romance. It was quick and short, and there wasn't, it wasn't crazy. Bulma and Vegeta is another great one. Mirko's My Hero Academia Hero Bunny, says Ivan. Alright, yeah. Looked it up. Cool. Alright, so, without further ado, a female deer. Yeah. So, let's see. Yeah, okay. Looks like no one's going to be jumping in VC tonight, people. But that's okay. Because the one I put the condoms here for is fucking in VC and somewhere else. Justice said Batman and Wonder Woman was great, even though it went nowhere because Batman ain't about that life. Yeah, even brought that up, but still. Alright, so let's do another tier list then, shall we? We'll change the thingy, my bob. I believe it's this one. Where did my... It's right there. It is. Okay. Had just a bit of a problem loading. That's fine. Alright, so let's... Let's go back. And let's choose another one. So, let's see. No, I don't know what that is. Let's go in order. Chocolate. Let's see. Oh, no. First off, none of these are... No. Nope. Not doing that one. Ivy Valentine costumes tier list. I mean... How many costumes are there? Load, please. Let's try that again. Okay, see, it's very hard to tell, unfortunately, so I don't think we can really do that. It's obvious one that shows off her tits is the best one, so yeah. Let's see. Valentine Day Ruby vids. Mario Kart Tour Valentine Tour, whatever that is. Let's see. Let's rank chain restaurants Valentine's Day edition. I mean, we could do that, I'm sure. Oh yeah, it's pretty simple. Or save or download. No, I don't want to download. I want presentation mode. Presentation mode. I don't know why it's doing that. Come on. There we go. There we go. There we go. Alright, some presentation mode. Yep. Alright. Let's see. Okay, so for going out on Valentine's Day, right? Now, I haven't been to most of these because these are all American. And I've been to none of them. So a lot of them, I'm going to have to make assumptions. I hear Applebee's is just like a standard, nothing special. So I would say that that's probably a C tier place to go. Buffalo Wild Wings. No, you would not go to a pub for Valentine's Day unless you're dating a cowgirl who likes to get her, this dirty and that dirty and gigak. Let's go down and watch a NASCAR race and then we'll drink some Budweiser and gigak. Unless you're dating one of those, then maybe Buffalo Wild Wings is your S tier, but not as far as I'm concerned. I don't know what Bob Evans is, so we'll just put it here. The Cheesecake Factory. I would argue the Cheesecake Factory, the one I was in, I've only been to one, but the one I was in was like 3 levels, had like a beautiful foyer, looked like a 3-star, 4-star hotel foyer when you walked in, had an outdoor patio, had all this gorgeous stuff. I understand it's probably just another, once again, it's a chain, it's just another Boston Pizza thing, but if you had to go to a chain, an inexpensive chain restaurant for Valentine's Day, Cheesecake Factory, I think, is A tier. I think it's A tier because, once again, the cheesecakes. Everyone raves about the cheesecakes. Never heard a single person that's had Cheesecake Factory cheesecake and didn't say it was awesome. And once again, what is associated with Valentine's Day? Chocolate. See what I'm saying? Chocolate. So let's go. Let's go with the chocolate. Yeah, too bad Miska isn't in here. He would probably know all these things and could help me out here. Like, I don't know what these are. Like, I hear Chili's is, once again, similar idea. From what I understand, anyways, it is. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. First, the chat can tell me. I'll do the ones that I know about. How's that? I'll do the ones that I know about. I'll put Bob's back here, and then I'll have you guys help me rank it. Like, from what like Denny's, like, people like Denny's for the, like, once again, if you were going to do a breakfast, see, that's the thing. Instead of a date night, what if you did a date brunch? I know that people love Denny's. I know my wife loves certain specials at Denny's. So I would say if you were going to do a brunch or a breakfast, or maybe a huge night out drinking, and then 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, you end up at Denny's, I'd say that's some A-tier shit. That's some A-tier shit. IHOP's sort of the same idea, but not nearly as good as Denny's. Like, why the fuck would you go to IHOP when you have the Denny's? So I would put that right there in the C tier. But the same idea. Longhorn Steakhouse, once again, if you're dating a Southern Belle, maybe. But since you're not, I'll put it in C tier because it's a step above Buffalo Wild Wings. Isn't Longhorn Steakhouse like a nicer steak? Nah, it's going in D tier with Buffalo Wild Wings. Red Lobster. I think that's an expensive place. I think. Isn't that where you can get a nice like surf and turf and stuff like that? So from what I understand, I would put that in A tier. If like once again, this is if you had to go to one of these places. TGI Fridays. I know it, but I don't know it. We have one, but I don't think I've ever been. Olive Garden. Isn't the Olive Garden supposed to be nice too? Or is it just standard? I think Olive Garden we'll just put in B tier. And Wahlburger? No, Wahlburger's D tier. For that. I think the Cracker Barrel is a similar idea. We'll put the Cracker Barrel in C tier because doesn't it? It's like a little, like it's got the like a good menu or something. I have no idea. I've heard of Chili's, haven't heard of the rest of these. Texas Roadhouse maybe. All right, so these are the ones that are left behind. So maybe, as I said, no one's in VC to help, but maybe the chat will help me. Maybe the chat will help me. Let's load up the chat and see where the chat's doing. Justice said, Batman and Wonder Woman was great, blah, blah, blah. Oh. Misk is in here. He's just not in VC. He's probably busy. Too busy. Well, maybe he spent Valentine's Day. Maybe Valentine's Day isn't over for Misk and Clover. Miss said, Applebee's is for old white people to take their grandkids for meals and deals. I speak from experience. Okay, so if that's the case, then I think Applebee's belongs in C tier then. No, Applebee's belongs down here and in D tier. Yep. As I said, I think we'll keep IHOP at the top of C for now. Let's see. What other people say? You gotta help me out here, people. I don't know these places. Justice said, a girl that goes to Buffalo Wild Wings for dates sounds like an incredibly fun person to be friends with, but horrible to date. Exactly. My point. Like, the party girl sounds fun in theory, but, yeah. It's sort of like the idea of, you know how, like, I got a weekend coming up. My wife's not here, but even if she was, I got a weekend coming up. I got a Saturday with one of my friends. We're going to, well, I'm not going to drink because it's still in February, right? And I'm still doing dry February. Didn't even drink during the Super Bowl. I'm doing good. But going forward, we're going to have a Saturday. It's going to be a big gaming weekend, right? And if you do a gaming weekend, okay, like, I mean, you can have girls that do that and stuff like that. That's fine. What I'm saying is that, like, it's time for the boys. It's sort of like sports. Like, you can have a girl who's into football, but generally speaking, the girls go and do something and they screw off and fucking the guys sit there yelling at the TV, right? Like, girls generally don't sit there and watch the entire 3 hours of hockey or football, right? They just don't do it. They can. I'm not saying they can't. But generally speaking, that's sort of a guy thing. So what I'm saying is that, yeah, if you're into that type of woman who's a little more macho or more, like, wild and stuff like that, and they want to do, like, Buffalo Wild Wings and Longhorn Steakhouse and let's do it, that's fine. But that's, once again, I'm just using from my type of woman and from my wife and stuff like that where I would try to take her. Joseph said, and Applebee's sucks as well. I have gone to Applebee's and it sucks. Always? Okay. Ivan said, IHOP seemed at a place for me for a date. I mean, once again, if you were going to do the quick breakfast thing, similar to the idea, like, of the Denny's idea, then you'd probably be good to go. Joseph said, IHOP is a family and friends place, not an I love you place. Well, neither is Denny's. But, once again, guys, remember what I'm saying here. So yeah. We'll put Red Lobster above Denny's though.
Good evening.
Oh, hello there, Misk.
Hello, I just got home from bringing Clover home, so.
Oh, very nice, very nice. How was your dinner? Well, we're discussing this. So where did you go? What did you do?
So we went to what I think is like a Florida sports bar chain called Duffy's. We've been going there, okay. Well, not me and Clover specifically, but like I've been going there ever since we moved here. I think maybe even before then, so like over 10 years. Okay. They're pretty nice. You know, it's one of those restaurants where you can order basically anything.
Oh, nice.
You know, burgers, wings, seafood. that kind of shit. Whatever you want, really.
So a very
both
versatile
step
menu.
Right, yeah. Basically, you can go there when you're in the mood for almost anything except for, like, pizza, I guess.
Yeah, sure. Like basically a pub place,
Yeah.
you know.
You see, we're fairly low-key people. We also don't have a ton of money, so, you
Right.
know.
And I mean,
Like-
you make do with what you got, right?
So, like, today I picked her up. I was like, what do you want to do for lunch? Do you want to get, like, some Greek food? You want to get some gyros? And she was like, not really. I'm like, you want to get pizza? And she's like, yeah, sure, let's get pizza. So we went and got pizza.
Why not, right?
And then for dinner, we just went and got burgers. Other than that, we were just kind of hanging out.
No, that's nice, right? You spend Valentine's Day together. I mean, you know, sometimes you can do that shit low key.
Yeah, we're fairly low-key people. Who don't have tons of resources at our disposal, so that's how we kind of do most of our stuff.
Well, yeah, that's true too. Like as I was saying before at the beginning of the stream, it's people have different spectrums, and different Valentine's Days do different things. Like this Valentine's Day, I'm not doing anything with my wife. She's working most of the day. This is when she teaches class on Tuesday. It's the middle of the week. It's a bunch of but last year, you know, we did the whole kit and caboodle. Went to an Italian restaurant, bought her some flowers, did the whole bit. This year, no, and she's not mad at me for it. It's just some years it's like, hey, we haven't been out in a couple of weeks. Why don't we go to a nice place and blah blah blah, and it just coincides. You know what I mean? But other times,
yeah, I know that's what my sister and her boyfriend are doing. They're going to like some fancy steak place. You know, the $200 meal kind of place.
Yeah, and they don't, and I know, knowing all 5 minutes about your sister, I know that they don't have money to do that.
Well, I don't know how much money he has. I
Oh,
don't
well,
really
yeah,
know
maybe.
what he does.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's him taking her out to dinner. So.
Which once again, not gonna shit on you if you didn't, but did you pay for Clover?
Yeah, I did.
Oh yeah.
I paid for both meals.
Good man.
So we went and got lunch. We were eating lunch, and then she was like, I want to go get smoothies. And I'm like, okay. So then we went to go get smoothies, and then she just paid for smoothies. And I was like, all right, sure, whatever. And then when we went to dinner, I paid for dinner again.
I mean, that's what sort of, like as I said, it's one of those things that I don't think it's wrong that if women sometimes pay for the meal. Like, that doesn't bother me. But, like, if it was it's sort of if I'm taking you out on a date, we didn't agree, like, hey, why don't we go out to lunch? It's, no, I want to take you somewhere.
I'm the one driving the vehicle. So
right. Yeah. It's one of those, like, and different relationships work differently. Like, I think before she left, my wife paid for the last couple of times we were at restaurants. It's like, I don't give a shit. I don't care what if the waiter's judging me, like, why is the girl paying or something? I don't give a fuck what they think, you know? It's like, well, you didn't see the fucking shit that I did before that, did you? You know, like.
No, of course not.
So, but yeah, no.
It's whoever's treat it is, and, you know, whoever's got more means, I suppose.
Yeah, that's usually, like, as I said, I basically ran it after Christmas and, you know, all that shit. I did buy my wife, I should say, because she wasn't going to be here anyways for today. Obviously, she's not here. I did buy my wife, it finally went on sale, one of those record players that's in a suitcase. Mm-hmm. So that was like $100-something or whatever. But it's, you know, it's got the Bluetooth speaker in it, but it's also, it can play actual vinyl. But it's the really nice, like, aqua blue. It's a suitcase. It's pretty, all that shit. So I did buy her that, and I gave it to her in January because I'm like, you're not going to be here anyways, so just here, you know.
Oh, this is funny. Justin says, wait, Mrs. Clover's Valentine? I didn't know this. Yeah, Justin. Well, you're not super active on the Discord. Me and Clover have been dating for like 3 years.
Yeah.
Before I made the channel.
Yeah, we all feel very, very bad for Clover. Trust me. We all feel terrible for her.
Ivan says Golden Corral is like a buffet place. Well, then it immediately goes down low. You don't really...
Yeah.
The only buffet place I would go to for like a date is this one Asian buffet place that has a hibachi grill in it. That's the only
That's
one
different though, because then you're taking them out for the entertainment value too, right?
Well, it's not like shit. Benihana's It's like it's a buffet still. So like you go and you pick all the shit you want. They have like a sushi bar.
Okay.
And then there's a hibachi grill where you go and you pick the stuff you want made, and they just give it to the guy and he makes it on the flat top and he hands it to you.
I see.
I would go there because it looks nice and the food's really fucking good.
True. And once again, this is, I just want to reiterate this once again to everyone. This is just me based, once again, if you were dating a Southern cowgirl, Longhorn Steakhouse is probably S tier.
Well, I just, when I think of it, it's like a steakhouse, right? So I'm like, shit. I guess that depends on what sort of food you consider to be date food. So I would probably put that high up.
See, what I judge, here's the thing, is Longhorn Steakhouse. See, I don't know what that is. Like, we have nice steak places here. Like, what I consider for date night would be tablecloth. Okay? So places that don't have tablecloths aren't exactly, you know what I mean, like date night material. Not to say the food's bad. Like, if you go to a smokehouse or a Korean barbecue place or stuff, those are nice places, great food. But is it date food? I don't exactly take my wife to, you know, the best burgers in town.
So what do you consider to be date food? Like,
Well, and once again, this is Valentine's Day, not necessarily date, just
so
a regular
what would
date.
you consider Valentine's Day?
Well, as I said, like, for me, I guess like an Italian restaurant, you know, or a Greek restaurant, or usually
an Olive Garden should go up high. I don't remember if I've ever actually eaten at Olive Garden, but it's supposed to be like a pseudo-Italian place. So.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll put it. I'm holding on to my Denny's there because the Denny's idea is more based in what my wife likes. But yeah, we'll put Olive Garden up there in A tier then because see, this is the thing. I don't know these places. So
yeah, Chili's. I put Chili's in like the same bracket as Applebee's. It's generic mid as fuck.
Okay.
Actually, Chili's has this weird thing where I feel like they don't have a single normal item on their menu. Every single item, they don't have like a basic cheeseburger. They have a cheeseburger with some other bullshit added onto it that is not there at any other cheeseburger place. They have chicken and waffles, and it comes with jalapenos as like the default. Instead of just like, oh, the normal chicken and waffles, and then you can add on other stuff. It's so weird to me. And the food's not that great. It's really not very good. It's very mediocre.
That does sound weird. Okay, see, I'm just looking up right now. Like Longhorn Steakhouse is actually a little nice. It's a little less hick than I thought it would be.
No, yeah, I think I've been there.
It's
a fairly nice restaurant.
Yeah. Okay. See, this is why I don't know. Like. We have nice steakhouses, but I also know that there's steakhouses that have great steaks, but they're not exactly... Like, once again, I took my wife and I went to... I don't know, you guys probably don't have it. It's a smokehouse called Montana's. That's a big chain up here, right?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that.
No, so but it's all... Like, basically, it's got the deer antlers on the wall. It's all log interior, you know, all wood. Everything's wooden. Everything's, you know, very... You know, and all the wait staff wear plaid shirts and jeans, that kind of idea. Like, that's the style, that's the atmosphere they're going for. And it's a nice atmosphere, but once again, that's not exactly where I take her while she... Like, when I think Valentine's Day going on a date night for Valentine's Day, I think, as I discussed before, wearing a button-up shirt tucked in. Not a whole suit, but I'm saying you wear a nice shirt. So anywhere that you don't need to wear a nice shirt at is sort of lower on the list. But Longhorn Steakhouse is sort of the same idea. Like, I see the deer antler like chandeliers and stuff, but it still seems fairly nice. It still seems like more a modernized, like, richier cowboys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like that place I would say is a bit nicer. Cheesecake Factory to me has always seemed a little tacky, and I think the food's a bit overpriced. But in terms of like a date place, out of what's on the list, it would be up there. I've never actually had their cheesecake. The issue is I never go to restaurants for dessert, and usually I'm not hungry enough after I eat food to have dessert. So we just never had the cheesecake there. So I have no idea if it's actually good or not.
Well, I've had it, and it's absolutely delicious. So I'll concede that actually the Cheesecake Factory should go down to B tier, because I was also thinking atmosphere. I was saying before that, like, it reminded me very highly of a nicer hotel. Like, you walk in...
That's the thing to me, is it is presented as a nicer place, but it's not.
No,
So
it's
comes
not.
off as kind of tacky.
Yeah, and remember, this is based off the idea that you're going to a chain for Valentine's Day.
Right.
Pick your poison too.
Pick your poison.
So I think I'll take Olive Garden and Cheesecake Factory down to B tier. I'll put Longhorn Steakhouse at the top of A tier.
Hello, Neve.
And we'll keep... Hi, Neve.
I haven't been to too many of these places. Red Robin, I would maybe put like just a bit above Applebee's and shit.
Okay.
I don't think I think I've been to a Ruby Tuesday one time in my entire life, and I can barely recollect anything about it.
Don't have any of these places.
Yeah. Smoky Bones? Okay. That's where Clover works.
Okay.
It's kind of more like a grill place.
Okay.
It's a place you can go to get like wings and ribs and brisket. Yeah, I guess it's kind of like a barbecue place.
Okay, so once again, like Buffalo Wild Wings, it's not really meant for a get dressed up.
Doesn't strike me as a date place.
No, okay, so we'll put it down here. Once again, all these places, ladies and gentlemen, could have good food. I've been to a Buffalo Wild Wings and had great food. It's not about that. It's about picking the atmosphere for a she's in a dress, you're in a shirt, sort of idea.
Dress and shirt.
It's based off day placements.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's based on, all right, if you had to go to a chain for Valentine's Day date night, how would you rank them in option of choice sort of idea?
Honest to God, I don't think we're going to have an ST.
No.
Alright. Based off, no, we have none of these in the UK. Not a very eat-outy person, not a very datey person either. But what I can say from, my time from seeing so many opinions over the internet, right?
Mm-hmm.
With Applebee's, there's one fairly popular image on the internet.
No, shut up. Applebee's, I swear, the way I've heard it described, because I haven't been there in fucking years, is like Applebee's is where you go to get cheap shit. You want to get cheap drinks, you go to Applebee's.
Ah, so it's like Boston Pizza.
I guess.
Well, Boston Pizza's expensive cheap drinks.
Like
in the Applebee's foot job image though?
You don't go, no. Anyway, yeah, the last time I went to an Applebee's, I had like the worst fish and chips I've ever had in my fucking life.
Really?
It was so fucking disgustingly greasy. It's the kind of fish and chips where the bread just like fucking sloughs off like rotten flesh.
Right, never mind. Fuck Applebee's then if they're disrespecting fish and chips.
Yeah, I mean, Neve, you would know almost as good as me or better. Fish and chips is our bread and butter, right?
Listen, it's mid white people shit.
Okay.
Applebee's, Red Robin, Chili's, it's all mid white people shit.
I was looking at Ruby Tuesday, and I think it's B tier. I was looking inside and looking at the menu and stuff, and it's once again, it's still that same sort of little bit of barbecue food sort of idea, but the interiors of just the locations I can find on Google, they look a little cleaner, look a little more well kept, sort of idea. So I'm gonna go with, all right, if you had to go there, it'd be because I can't really do that. Oh, Neve, while you're here, look, I told you. Here's the condoms. They're in the background. I promised.
Yeah, Rent a Girlfriend live stream though.
Tragic.
Oh, that's right.
Tragic. No terrible cuck manga.
No.
Valentine's Day.
Next time. No, we're doing Monster Musume next.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Lots of discussion around that recently.
Oh, yeah. Colin's been reading that one.
Good lord.
Yeah, I haven't caught. Yeah.
Who was the one that said they were watching it and they didn't immediately realize, oh, this is basically just porn?
That was me.
Oh, that was you.
Yeah, because I watched it when I was like fucking 12, I think. And I was like, oh, that's cute and funny. But then I looked at it a few years later and I was like, huh.
This is pornography. This is just softcore pornography.
Okay, Eaton Park is way down in D tier. I just looked it up.
Fucking TGI Fridays. Don't they have a lot of like good drink deals and stuff there?
I
Like you go to TGI Fridays to get some good drinks and shit.
I
TGI
swear I
Fridays
actually
is
have
probably
one
one
up
of
here.
let me look up pictures of TGI Fridays.
Yeah.
Let me
This
see what it looks like on the inside.
That's what I'm trying to find. It's always pictures of the food. It's never pictures of the interior. I need.
Oh, this place looks somewhat nice.
Yeah, actually,
I
this.
mean,
Yeah, okay, okay. I think we can do B tier with this.
yeah, it'll go there with like the Cheesecake Factory and Olive
Yeah.
Garden. It's a nicer one of the. Let's see, who
Like,
do we have?
I think this this different image I've seen on the internet. Not any like funny meme ones, but it's in like the mid burgers are $20 starter pack. It looks like it fits that exact image.
Where are you posting this image?
I don't have it on hand until
I
someone
see.
said.
They
Oh.
have this picture. I look it up. I see we have a burger with 2 chicken wings kebabbed on top of it.
Fucking
That's a
A.
little strange.
I mean, strange, but I mean, I saw one time like the equivalent here in Canada. We've perfected the Bloody Mary. We call it a Caesar. I think it was invented first, but they literally put an entire cheeseburger on top of the drink on a skewer.
Yeah, let's see.
It
This
makes no
seems to
sense.
be more of like a cat. This TGI Fridays is a bit more like a burger place, but it looks to be a nicer burger, wings, ribs place.
Yeah, I'm getting that from it. We got Texas Roadhouse. Looks a little more. Yeah,
I think that's a little more what you expected Longhorn to be.
Yeah, that's what I expected. Like, once again, probably good food. Looks
Oh,
okay.
wait. I think I've been there. I think I went there one time back in October when I went with Clover and my sister and her friend to like some little like zoo thing. And like a pumpkin patch or whatever. I think we went there for lunch. Pretty good food. Don't know. I mean, you can get like a nice steak and some grilled shrimp. So I don't know, but it is definitely a little bit more like we're country than your usual
Yeah.
steakhouse.
I've seen a lot.
And then we have Bob Evans.
I didn't know Bob Evans was a restaurant. I'm aware of Bob Evans mashed potatoes and mac and cheese.
I'm not aware of Bob Evan, period. Let's see. Alright, it looks... Well, I've been doing this for 89 years, and always, nah.
There are no S-tier date chains. They
No.
don't exist.
I mean, there are actually here, like, we have, I don't know if you guys have it, we have, like, the Keg. That's a white tablecloth steakhouse, but it's white tablecloth, the waiters are in full suits, the whole bit.
I think it's just generally most chain places, people aren't like, yeah, this is like a great date spot.
Yeah.
Great for the dinner date. No, you go to dinner dates. That's when you're when I think of what you're thinking of for like dressing up for a dinner date.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's one place. Maybe they have a couple franchises. You make reservations, and you are going to spend more than $100.
Right. That's basically what it is.
I have never been on such a date, but that's what I imagine you're talking about.
Yeah, generally speaking, like when I go to the Italian place, it's just around the corner. It's up above. Actually, it's up above the strip mall. Now, granted, this is a nicer strip mall, but it's up above there. It's owned by an Italian group. They have a couple downtown, but they have one close by, and it's white tablecloths. It's reasonably priced food, but it's still, for 2 people. And drinks, you're probably over $100. Pretty easy. And, once again, you see people do business meetings there for lunch. They're only open for lunch and dinner. Most times you do have to make a reservation. So, yeah, that's definitely, that's the type of thing that I'm thinking of anyways.
Yeah.
But
I found the image I was trying to talk about. Well, it's not the exact image, but it's practically the same.
Expensive burger place starter pack.
Let's see it.
Yeah,
Oh,
pretty
so
much.
real. They just it doesn't even taste that good.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah, like it looks exactly like all these TGI Friday images I'm seeing.
Yeah. No, that's very accurate actually.
I would fucking kill a man for that burger from the end of the menu. That thing looks so fucking tasty. That double patty, you get some fucking grilled onions on it, American cheese, sesame seed buns. Oh. I'd probably done medium or something.
I mean, yeah. See, here, you would be very lost. Americans are always lost up here. When people order the burger and then the waiter walks away. And people are like, well, you didn't ask me how I want it done. Cooked. It's burger meat.
No, it was so weird. Okay, there was one time. This was like, I think it had to have been almost 2 years ago, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a little after Valentine's Day, because I think it was the first Valentine's Day when Clover and I were dating. But we didn't actually get to see each other on Valentine's Day, so it was like a week or two after the fact. And Danny wanted to go to Buffalo Wild Wings for dinner. And I was like, okay, Danny, sure, why not? So we go there, but I'm not really in the mood for wings, so I order a burger.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have my burger medium. And they're like, oh, we only do them well done here. And I had like the fucking Kill Bill sirens go off in my head. I'm like, what? What do you mean you only do it well done? Are you incapable of cooking it at like any greater rareness? Is there something wrong with your meat? You'll give me fucking salmonella if you don't just cook it gray? And then I got the actual burger and it was fine.
Well, see, that's the thing. I was gonna say, like, medium, like we cook it to medium well. That's basically, as you said, gray all the way through. That's what a burger should be, but it doesn't need to be well done. But burger meat, I mean, a hint, and I mean a hint of pink in the middle is okay at best. But yeah, like when I still remember being down in Florida and they asked me how I wanted my burger done, and I remember just going, cooked? Like, what do you mean? Like, I don't, like, you have to, because it's all about the meat grinder and stuff, because people always argue me on that. It's like, how can you like a medium rare steak, but you can't have medium rare ground beef? It's like, it's two different fucking processes, bud. The difference is they put shit in the burger meat, you know, and it's in that grinder and that processing plant and all that shit. You have to cook it. It's got to reach 160. So... But yeah, anyways, yeah, no, it's quite funny with the burger thing, but Justin said my Miss Glore is lacking. I'm gonna study up on it soon. Next, you're gonna tell me Griever has a
Miss Glore stream. The last Miss Glore stream was the iceberg, and that was just me talking about shit that's happened.
Oh, that's true.
Really has
it's been a quiet as fuck year. It's been really quiet.
Yeah.
Like the last year or so, we
Yeah.
got rid of Otto like a year ago.
Yeah.
And it's been quiet.
And I mean, there is potential. I forget who brought it up, but there is potential for a new Bozo, but not quite yet. It's the beginnings.
I feel like there has to be some sort of big diaspora.
There
for
has to,
another
yes.
one to appear.
Yes.
They always appear when there's a big boost in the channel, generally, because that was when the first ones showed up. Was when we had the big channel boost.
Yep.
Yeah,
Or after the big channel boost, that was when people started to join, and then as a result, you had a few people in there who were fucking psychotic.
Yes.
Ever since she got to like 5.7k of being trapped in purgatory.
I'm so close. I'm like 15 subs away from 5.8.
Jesus.
Oh, you're on the top end of that, I see, yeah.
I can fucking escape this godforsaken number.
Jesus. Ivan said I tried to look at Bob Evans, but I feel like it's IHOP or Family Diner, although I am not an expert, but I can relate to it as breakfast, brunch, and lunch menu, which once again, as I said, the reason Denny's is up there is if you were doing, I just went out on a limb and said, what if you weren't doing date night, but date morning, right? And from what I understand, I was at a Denny's once. But from what I understand, Denny's food is, people love it. It's awesome. It's great hangover food. It's great 3 in the morning food. Like, that's when you go. So I'm also considering Denny's. The reason Denny's is so high up there is because I'm thinking you go out, maybe you go dancing, maybe you go to a club, maybe you go karaoke, maybe you have this big fucking night with friends, and maybe you do like a double date thing with a bunch of couples or something like that. And then at the end of the night, it's like 2:30 in the morning and everybody just is starving, and you go to a Denny's. That's an awesome way to end a Valentine's Day night. So assuming that you do it one of those two ways, I hear that Denny's food is fucking awesome in those situations.
Yeah, I'm obviously not a big getting hungover and going out at 3 in the morning person.
No.
So
Yeah.
I gather that. Neither is my wife. She says that like after everyone, like when she would go out with the girls and it was like 3 in the morning and they wouldn't be like, the other girls would be drunk, but she wasn't that drunk or anything like that, and they would just be starving. She goes, there's nothing like being hungry after a night of being out on the town and just having some warm like pancakes and stuff, like comfort food, right? She says it's some of the best meals you've ever had. And I could see that, like, even if I was not drinking, you know, because I haven't been but I was there for a whole Super Bowl party, right? Because we didn't care about the teams. You can only have a Super Bowl party if you don't care who's playing. But
right. Yeah.
but I was at a Super Bowl party all Sunday, and by the time I came home, I would have loved to like just have some bacon and eggs. Like that shit would have been awesome.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I
We
mean?
were watching the Super Bowl, quote unquote, watching the Super Bowl in BC the other night. It was hilarious because one of the people in BC, right?
Uh-huh.
Like most of us have no stake in it.
Oh, it was Sanctuary, right?
It was Sank.
Oh my God, he.
Yeah, I feel like. No, yeah, what happened, right? He was at the library, well, where he works with his boss, right? Watching the Super Bowl. And he was all for, like, the team that lost. And they're like, oh yeah, we're winning for the entire
Yeah,
thing.
Eagles are winning. The Eagles
Yeah.
got it.
And then, like, last minute, like, his boss sends him home because, like, yeah, you're probably not having a good day. Just go home. Then when he gets home, one of the women he's texting comes into his home as like your little baby man, takes the fucking alcohol he was gonna drink that day, and leaves.
Because he bet his fucking alcohol on the Eagles winning.
Wow.
Like a few days before, he went to like a frat party and he's like, these frat parties suck. Good thing we just came here to steal the alcohol. And then like the next day, it all gets taken over the Eagles losing the Super Bowl.
This is why you don't bet on football games, even though I do it.
Chelp was also in there.
God, that was so fucking funny. He would not let Sank hear the end of it.
No, it was Shun or Sponge.
Oh, it was Shun?
Yeah, who wouldn't let Sank hear the end of it.
Yeah, so fucking. It was
Yeah,
so
someone Chomp was the one screen sharing it, but yeah, he had to stop partway through because
his fire alarm went off at the end dorm.
Someone in his apartment was fucking smoking or something.
Wow.
I love when people do that. It's
Yeah,
great.
like at a halftime show, the entire VC was just talking about, oh yeah, she's gonna fall. And then people were like, hey, hold on, is Rihanna pregnant? And it's like, oh yeah, she's trying to kill the baby doing that.
Oh, Jesus. I didn't even watch the halftime show. I'm going to be honest with you. I did not care about the halftime show.
Listen, the Super Bowl is literally just a giant commercial.
Yeah.
It is a giant commercial.
It's
with some
evolved.
football sprinkled
It's
in
evolved
between.
into we put a concert in the middle of the most important game of the year. I still remember Bill Burr on Conan basically saying, when he was asked about the Super Bowl, he goes, are you going to have a Super Bowl party? He goes, no. Real football fans do not go to Super Bowl parties because because people at Super Bowl parties talk during the game and then shut up during the commercials and halftime, and they talk about, oh, how much do you think that commercial cost? Oh, there's Billy Crystal. That's funny. Oh, like, shut up. We're trying to watch the most important game of the year as a football fan. Shut up, sit down, and let us watch some fucking football and get angry. Like,
Yeah, like the perspective of it from a non-football person, right?
mm-hmm.
Because like, of course we don't know what's really going on. But, like once someone does borderline assault in a fucking football game, we're like, yeah, that's borderline assault. That's hilarious. And then also like, we would see celebrities we recognize. We're like, hey, is that Elon Musk? You think someone in the crowd's gonna put a red dot over his forehead soon?
Jesus Christ.
If only. Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very, very much. Well, actually, now that Misk and Neve are here in the VC, I was talking about before, I didn't go through my whole list, but I was talking about some of my favorite, or what I consider some of the top anime slash mangas, romance mangas and stuff. Now, do either one of you have particular, maybe if you haven't read a romance, necessarily a full genre romance manga or watched an anime, but maybe a love story within one of the mangas you've read that you enjoy, like a power couple you enjoy or something like that?
I'll go check my anime list because I've not been keeping track of a lot of the things I'm reading lately.
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of fallen off of like manga and whatnot lately as I've been in a more gamer state as of late.
The gamer state. I'm having trouble. I'm in that in between state right now where I can't really focus on a singular thing. Oh, I need actually to finish watching the new season of Record of Ragnarok, but I'm doing like individual episode reviews. I'm fighting the urge to just watch the rest of the season and just do a round 5 review.
Yeah, if that's easier.
I feel like I'm probably just gonna end up doing that.
Yeah, because then you can actually get the video out, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm reading Berserk. I want to start fucking watching campaign 3 of Critical Role. I've like almost finished the first episode. The issue with that is it is not something you can listen to while doing something else that's very stimulating, because you need to fucking pay attention to it.
Right.
Yeah, most you can do is Dark Souls 2, because that's a very...
I was playing like some Elden Ring last night and listening to it. I have to do fucking TOB prep work. I have homework I need to do, obviously. What else do I have going on? What else have I been meaning to do? Finish Half-Life 2. Then I wanted to get back to KOTOR at some point.
Yes,
then I
of course.
also want to play Fallout New Vegas again. Try to, but have like play free there on my shoulder to motivate me to keep doing it. I also got the desire to try playing Baldur's Gate again because it was pretty fun, but I haven't touched it in like 3 years.
Baldur's Gate's
I have
fun.
so much. Oh yeah, and doing the fucking novelization for TOB.
Yeah.
Which would be a hyper long-term project anyway. But like I have like over a dozen different things I want or need to do, and I only have so much time.
Oh yeah, speaking of that, because of interaction that happened in today's AT session, that would change Crystal's initial reaction to meeting Walter again.
Interesting. Cool.
Yeah, on the whole, like, you know, motivation stuff, like, Cave recently put me on a podcast. So, like, whenever I do decide to sit down and play Dark Souls 2, I always have that in the background.
It's probably a good idea.
Like, I feel like once I finish, like, Dark Souls 2, Persona 5, and Breaking Bad, I'll probably be back into, like, consuming manga and anime again.
That's a
like,
great idea.
Because, like, back in, like, September, I also started watching March Comes in Like a Line. Fucking amazing. But, like...
I'm glad you're catching up, though. I've been enjoying watching your little, like, Neve, when you post a couple things about certain Breaking Bad episodes, because I haven't seen the series in a long time, and you remind me of certain moments, and I'm like, oh yeah, Neve caught up to that. That's really cool, you know what I mean? Like, so it's fun.
I finished, like, season 3, episode 7 today.
Oh, nice.
But, like, I'm just... No, because when it comes to consuming media for the first time, if I'm not, like, reading some sort of hype series, just like, oh, look at the cool thing, oh, I am not the best at putting my thoughts into words.
Ah.
So when it comes to, like, once I've consumed a thing entirely, I'm like, oh yeah, themes and whatnot, blah blah blah, boring stuff, character stuff, blah blah blah, stuff that I actually care about now, after Cave pilled me. Yeah, like, it's a bit hard to put into thoughts as I'm going through it. Like, I was trying to post something about fucking Skylar saying, are we in danger, to Wall? Because I was like, holy shit, that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
I've started to like Skylar this season. She's been phenomenal.
I am the danger.
Isn't it weird how many people fucking hate Skylar and her actor? or actress, despite the fact that like Walt is objectively a way worse person that does way worse
Well,
things.
I don't like Skylar. I'll admit that. I don't like Skylar. But the fact that you don't like Skylar is a testament to the actress playing Skylar, because she's supposed to not be liked in the strictest of senses, because you're sort of, even though you're following, it's no different than Sons of Anarchy, when you're following the bad person as your main character, you have this sense of people doing the morally right thing are the bad people getting in their way.
Exactly.
So
Like, thing with Breaking Bad, right? What I like with it is how you hate everyone within it. Like,
Yeah.
everyone is...
except for Jesse. I don't mind Jesse.
Jesse's still, like... the
A
one
little
who's
shit
young,
sometimes.
Still, like,
But what about
"No,
Mike?
Don't
Mike's
do
supposed to
that.
be
No."
based.
Oh, yeah, like... Yeah. Mike, well, I've seen him from so far. Yeah, like, he's the one guy who's completely based. Like, so based.
Yeah.
Like he still doesn't handle things great, but like he does it in such a way where like you're kind of like as opposed to thinking, wow, you're horrible. But
Yeah.
with the whole script,
No.
I
Yeah.
feel like I'm starting to like her in season 3 because like I feel the way Breaking Bad does it starts showing more and more of Walt being objectively like shitty. Meanwhile, it's giving Skylar more time on her own, more time to like look at her and what she's doing.
Yep.
And since like later half season 2, start of season 3, Walt isn't as involved in the drug stuff. So it's not like, oh yeah, he's doing this for his family. You have this downtime where it's like, yeah, he's just doing this thing. Meanwhile, Skylar is still dealing with consequences of the actions, and then when the assassins come, that's further seeing the consequences. And then just Skylar finally being like, hey, well, are we safe after Hank shot out? God, season 3's been fucking phenomenal so far. I love this
Yeah.
show.
No, I'm glad you're enjoying it, because it's definitely a very good series. It was right around the time that and Sons of Anarchy were the two shows fighting to be top dog. Breaking Bad won out, but those were the two shows that everyone was like, "This, you gotta see this. We're not following good people anymore." Like,
But yeah, like Keith mentioned wanting to watch like Sons of Anarchy or Tulsa King with me.
mm-hmm.
They're fairly similar. Mainly because both were mentioned on the podcast he sold me on.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, I mean to check this out because I have not watched enough normal TV.
Right.
Especially, so like, yeah, I plan to check this out fairly soon. Also plan to check out Eric Costa, El Camino, and whatnot.
Man, I've barely watched normal TV in forever. It's just all been animated stuff, even if
Yeah,
it's
I
not
know.
anime.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah,
I just feel
that's
like those.
because it's longer usually. So you
Yeah.
have to allocate more time to sit down to it.
Oh, and Andor was the most recent normal TV thing I
Yeah.
watched.
Like with Breaking Bad, I was going for like one episode every few weeks. I mean, I'm on a pace of like at least 2 episodes every week.
Mm-hmm.
Because like at the start, it's a lot more slow burning. It's very hard to watch because it's just more like it's unfiltered. You're seeing fucking awful people do awful things
Mm-hmm.
around each other, treat each
Yeah.
other awfully. It's hard to watch.
Yeah, it really can be.
I watched the first 4 episodes of Breaking Bad on a trip in 8th grade. It was my New York and DC trip. We were on the long bus ride from New York to DC. So I was sitting on the bus with my friend. He's like, hey, you want to watch Breaking Bad? And I was like, sure. So I watched like the first few episodes. And I was like, yeah, this is like really well acted. However, I do not know if I have the heart for watching a show about people doing terrible things and their lives becoming progressively worse.
Yeah, I mean, that is, well, yeah.
Yeah, but here's
It does definitely gives you that sort of impression going forward.
like things like that, right? Fucking like even
I could
though,
probably
like,
tolerate it now.
yeah, I know like you have mentioned Griever, you've mentioned something similar to like more of an extent.
Mm-hmm.
Like you consume media to feel good, right? as opposed to, consuming it just to like see what it's like, feel new emotions. Like, for example, Oyasumi Pun Pun. Uh, I have not read it myself, but based on what everyone who I know who has read it has said about it,
Mm-hmm.
well, mainly Cave, has said like it's something that looks like it's gonna get better, but keeps getting worse. Like I know you mentioned you avoid things like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, it like it depends on your definition. Like you're talking not worse. Like okay, like Walter White is slowly becoming a worse person, but as a character, that's good and it's a good
Yeah.
show as the
Also,
seasons
like
go on.
more
But
so, as in like you want to see things get better for the characters, but you just don't.
yeah, yeah, there is a form of it's sort of why I try to stay away from the news because when I turn on the TV, I'm there to be entertained, right? And at the end of the day, I know bad shit is happening in the world. Why would I want to depress myself even further? You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I'm
I
not.
avoid the news because
Yeah.
like
So
that's the
you know.
like that is depression, which is very much real. And like, yeah, I can live my life without this. Other things in the world don't affect me. This is my life I'm living.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, if I'm reading something that cuts deep emotionally in terms of fiction, I can usually walk away with some takeaway from it.
Yeah. I mean, and it every show and every piece of media you're going to consume is going to treat you different. So for something like that, I say no, I can't continue watching or reading this. It's too dark or it's too this or it's too that. And I don't need that. I don't need that negativity or I don't need this. If it makes me feel negative, some people might take away good, valuable lessons from that, even though if it's negative in
Aye.
nature, and turn it into a positive. So there's not. I don't think there's a definite for each person because everyone's an individual, but I think everyone has certain things that they're just never going to not necessarily they don't get it, but it's not going to do the same thing for that person, and as a result it's not going to they're not going to watch the next season, they're not going to watch the next sequel, they're not going
Oh
to do anything.
man, as I mentioned, I've been reading Berserk again because I fell off of reading it like a year and a half ago,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't just go back to where you stopped after you stopped reading it a year and a half
Aye.
ago. So I basically I didn't start over from the very beginning. I started over from the start of Golden Age because
Mm-hmm.
that's where more of the well, I mean, fuck, chronologically, it's the start of the story, so you might as well.
Right.
Um, and I've read all of this stuff before, but for some reason now, a lot of the stuff in it is hitting me way harder than it did just a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, I'm like, what has changed? Am I just in a different mindset than I was? And I was talking to like Playfree and stuff, and they're like, "Yeah, you probably changed a lot over the last year and a half." I'm like, "Are you
Yeah.
sure? Because I don't feel like I have."
I mean, here's the thing though. Like, I don't feel that way either. But here's the thing. Both, like, we've seen it both, right? I feel like some way to compare it is the way you treated James here versus the way you treat TOB.
Uh huh. What do you mean by that?
Hold on, let me get my thoughts straight, cause like the
We're
blueprint,
talking
cause
about my
like
D&D
yeah,
campaigns.
like
Yes,
the
I gathered
outlines
that.
there. I'm just trying to like fill in what I want in the
They have
outline.
very different tones. Throne of Bones is
Yeah,
way darker than JMC,
yeah, not even that.
generally.
As in like the way you're like, you know, handling characters and whatnot. Like I think like both of us have probably just managed to like gain some a degree of easier of having like well one life experience for both of us, blah blah blah. Like also like something has probably happened to us in some way, probably exposure to play free,
Probably
has made us
exposure to
like
Playfree.
go and like think a bit more on themes whatnot. Also,
Hmm.
you've read Berserk before, so you're like you'll
It's true. I
have
did
more
read it.
understanding.
Well, the thing is, I'm not. It's not a blind read through. It's
I know.
fucking Berserk. I know
Yeah,
like 90% of the shit that happened in it before I even started reading it.
yeah.
So, like, I knew what was happening ahead, and, like, even more so upon the reread. But
Yeah,
then for some
you
reason, like,
appreciate things a lot more on rereads.
yeah, like, I don't know, like, just some of those moments, some of those character conversations and lines and stuff, I was just
Yeah,
like, God damn.
on your first read,
God
you
damn.
over thinking, oh yeah, these aren't too significant. But then, like, after oh, all these characters are gone. Like when you're reading through it again from like a more like observant standpoint, so you're taking it a bit slower, or at least
Yeah,
just
I think,
try
am I
to
reading it
take things
slower?
in.
I may be reading it a bit slower. It was weird because on the first initial read through of Berserk, even though everything was really good, I don't know if it was hitting me the way it was supposed to, where
Yeah.
people talk about Berserk, where people are like, yeah, Berserk's top one. Like, it's the best ever. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, like, it's really good. But
Because
I wasn't getting that vibe off of it, of, like, supreme quality. But now when I'm reading it again, I'm like, shit, son. God damn.
hold on, lost my train of thought. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, rereads, like you have that you read faster cuts to reread, but also like fucking words. Yes, you want to look at the parts I didn't pay too much attention to, or you'll be looking at them and you'll just properly take them in because the rest is stuff you've already taken in.
I mean, I suppose. I think I'm.
And on like first read-throughs of things, or at least I suffer terribly from this, where like for the most part, like when reading through things for the first time, it will be noise, partially. Like your brain will just process this because it's new. But then you're like, oh, hold on, lost my train of thought again, sorry. Like, yeah, reading through things for the first time, sure, you read them, they might hit, but it's more so you're taking them in for the first time. You can't really appreciate it. I'm not saying this in the best way possible. I'm not best for words. We all know this by now.
Yeah, I know. No, it was funny. It was just like I feel like I have a takeaway I had upon this reread that I don't think I had in the initial read through is, wow, we could have avoided so many problems if people just talked about their fucking feelings. Holy shit.
But yeah, and that's real.
It's real as
real
fuck. If
issue.
these people stopped doing things without wanting to explain them or feeling the need to explain them and literally just talk to each other, literally all of the terrible things could have been avoided.
Yeah, I feel like that's why Golden Age feels a lot more human.
Golden Age is. I can't fucking. What I think. The weird thing with Berserk is like the first 16 chapters, when you read it in other places, it's called the prologue. And then after that, you start at chapter 1, which is the official start of Golden Age. Is Miura did like a dozen chapters. And then was like, I'm going to spend the next 10 years doing backstory. I'm going to spend the next 10 years doing a flashback. And it's like, okay.
At its peak.
Sure thing. And it's all just build up to, yeah, I'm going to ruin your lives. I'm gonna ruin your fucking lives. You people that have, I can't fathom having been reading Berserk when it was coming out and get to the last part of Golden Age. I can't imagine the emotional toll that would take on you.
God, fucking hell, no. Seeing that
It's just,
happen
it's
on one
fucking
character,
psychotic that he did that.
like reading again and seeing that happen on one character after like 80 hours of reading. No, that's hard enough. Having being attached to characters for like 10 years and seeing that happen to all of them. No,
Yeah, it's one thing to binge a series and have that happen. It's another thing to follow a series over the years and then see those things happen to the characters. And it's just like, oh my god. Oh. Well, anyway.
Great, that's the point that provoked this conversation with love in like series and whatnot. Like, I've already got side railed.
Yeah. Well, just
Gabimaru and Yui in Hell's Paradise.
Oh yeah, those two are
That's
great.
peak. That's great. And she's barely in the. She has
Yep.
no presence in the like
That's
main
true.
story.
That's true. Actually, it's funny. Beforehand, somebody brought up when I said for ships. Somebody brought up the ninja girl with our swordswoman.
Yeah.
Yuri.
Oh yeah, I do know quite a few people ship them. Yeah.
Ship them,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And I said, oh, that's all right. I'm good with
I
it.
never saw that
Like-
specifically, but I could see it.
Yeah, I can.
That wasn't the vibe I got, but I could see it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, right.
Um, I speak to like, of course, less so as I like stopped using Twitter and more open forums, whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But like, as Hell's Paradise was ending, I did not read it until after it ended. Like, as it was coming out, like, I saw a lot of queer people being like, "Wow, we feel represented by this, even if it isn't like real."
That's kind of a funny way to. This feels real to me. It is real to me.
Well, no, I can see it, like, cause like, it's been a while since I read Hell's Paradise, so of
Usury
course,
had definitely swings both ways, I think.
yeah, I feel like, cause the way she looks at things, that's probably how it could be seen. I
Yeah.
don't know, I can't speak on Hell's Paradise. It's been too long for me to actually say anything.
Oh, I wasn't sure because I know you were rereading the one chapter the other
Yeah,
day.
I read that one chapter just so I can be like, what was said about mortals and fear? Because that went hard.
That did go hard as shit. That was a great man. Everything involving fucking Shion, just the best. Just
Yeah.
Oh,
great.
I did miss something from Ivan. Said to throw a wrench in the tier list. Probably too late now, but said, would Starbucks be a good dating place?
Fuck no.
Fuck no.
No.
And no, here's why I'm gonna say fuck no. I would take my wife to a Taco Bell, to a KFC, to any other fast food place before I would take her to a Starbucks. You know why? Because I don't want to spend the same price it costs for a steak dinner to get a coffee and a donut. Thank you very much. I'm
True.
good. All right.
Ugh.
Fuck Starbucks, man. My wife actually likes Starbucks, but it's overpriced.
You know, it's overpriced as fuck. The only times I ever get Starbucks is when Clover's here and she's like, "Can we get Starbucks?" And I'm like, "Sure." That's the only times I get it.
Literally same boat, same bar, same boat, man.
I'm like, whatever. I have the one fucking mocha frappuccino I get because it tastes good. That's the only thing I ever get there.
Yeah. So just for a quick, actually, to go off on what you were saying about Hell's Paradise. So I'll just run down the ones because I didn't go through my whole list. I put this together haphazardly. I'm probably missing series. But in my anime manga, because you guys know I'm a big sook. I'm a big romance guy, right? So that's why I loved Hell's Paradise. I mean, that's just my bread and butter. A dude doing everything for his wife. Sign me the fuck up. So there's a series called Dead Man's Recipe, also known as Mary Grave. Now, it's a shorter series, should have been over 100 chapters. It was awesome. It's not on my actual list because it's not listed as a romance manga. However, it's got the same idea as Hell's Paradise. The premise of Mary Grave is there's this immortal dude walking around trying to create the dead man's recipe, which is it's sort of like Toriko adventure. I need the tooth of a dragon and the fucking, the clover from a leprechaun's hat, and I need all this crazy shit, right? And it's impossible. Nobody believes in it. And he's doing it to revive his wife, and he literally carries around his wife's corpse in a coffin while he tries to collect the dead man's recipe to bring her back to life. And that's the whole premise. There's no romance. As you said, it's sort of like Hell's Paradise in the sense that she's not a character. You never see her, because she's dead in a coffin. But but the whole premise is based on love. The character's motivation is all for his wife. So though it's not a romance manga, it's a nice goal, and everyone telling him he's wrong. The cool thing is that he is in mortal body. He goes, I know it worked, And he goes, I know it's real. And he goes, and they all say, why? He goes, I'm living proof. My wife, the reason my wife is dead, she performed the dead man's recipe on me. That's why I'm immortal. I know this shit is real because I'm living proof. And nobody believes him. And it's just it's a really good series, but too short. But yeah, so
Yeah.
that's not on the list.
Too short. Didn't need to be longer, because, like, from the sounds of it, it sounds like something that could have gotten its point across in, like, 20, 30 chapters.
Yeah, it was about 44 chapters, I think.
Yeah,
Now,
it sounds perfect what it is.
it's
Or at least what you present that as.
I'll tell you why it's not perfect is it could be if the plan was to write the whole story completed in 44 chapters. The problem was they rushed the fuck out of the last 5 chapters because clearly they're like, all right, we're ending. Sort of like any long running shonen. The way it was written with the adventure and going forward and collecting all the ingredients was sort of along the line of like a full course menu in Toriko. And think of Toriko like, okay, we've collected 2, 3 on our full course, and then Toriko in the last 10 chapters collects the last 5 because it's like, oh shit, we're gotta get the end of the series here. So that's
hello,
sort
we're
of,
being axed.
yeah. So that's sort of
Hello.
what, like, if it was written to be 44 chapters, it would have been better. But it was written to be probably about 80, 90 chapters and got cut to half. So yeah.
Was that man's recipe, like, axed, or was the magazine axed?
I have no idea, actually, because I found it very difficult to find places to read it, and so I don't really know what happened.
Well, let's see. That man's recipe.
Yeah. I'm not sure what happened there.
Manga.
Anywho, I'm gonna head out now. I have some stuff that I need to work on. So
Okay.
later.
See you, miss.
Let's see. Mary Grave. Well, there was a little sequel thing
Oh, was there?
released. Well, I'm seeing something from the guy under, like, hold on, wait, no. Hold on, that might be in a fan work or anthology. Hold on. Let's see, My Grave. Let's see. Oh, that's something completely separate. That just
Oh.
shows up as the name similarities.
Yeah.
Let's see. Alright. My Grave, magazine.
It was in Weekly Shonen Sunday, apparently.
Let's see. Weekly Shonen Sunday. Hold on, when did this end? 2017 and 19. Fascinating. Weekly Shonen Sunday. Because anyone another. Oh, that magazine appears to still be going. So yeah, that's the series I got axed, it seems.
Yeah. So I guess it just, yeah. Anyways, it is what it is. It's a nice series. The other ones I already mentioned. I don't know if you've heard of them, Neve, but I had Vision of Escaflowne on there. Sailor Moon, obviously. W Change, which is another short one, but it was, unlike Mary Grave, it was written as a short one. Just a little bit of a Romeo Juliet story with Yakuza, and it worked. Except nobody dies at the end, you know what I mean? So a happier Romeo and Juliet ending. Rosary plus Vampires on here. I had another honorable mention in Seven Deadly Sins. Once again, Seven Deadly Sins is not a romance thing, but everyone in the main cast has a love story in that series. Every single one, no exception. So the theme of love and romantic relationships is very heavy and prevalent in Seven Deadly Sins. So the rest of them, I think those are all the ones I mentioned. The rest of them I have Unbalanced ×2. That's a bit of an ecchi one, but that was really good, about a dude in Korea looking for having the hots for his teacher. That was a pretty good series. Then basically all of Seo Koji's work up until Fuka. Seo Koji, I really like his art style, and he did a lot of work. Suzuka, Kimi no Uramachi, all these other series.
I recognize none of those.
Yeah, very, very good. Very good storytelling, very good romance stuff. GE Good Endings, another one. I think that was what was that published in? Because I feel like that was written for one of the bigger. GE Good Ending was for was in Oh, Coda. The same with Seven Deadly Sins. It was in Weekly Shonen magazine from Koden Shah, shonen manga and stuff, and it was in actually the shonen section. That's why it got a lot of publicity. It was in the shonen, but it was a romance one. It was pretty good. Let's see what else I got. I got Maid Sama, which everyone fucking despises now as being toxic as shit, but I don't care. Maid Sama is fantastic. It's got a great main heroine. Yeah, or how do you say it? Kawaii-cha Maid Sama. Anyways. What else? Oh yeah, the other two obvious choices is the series I cover, Yona the Dawn. Really good shoujo series. And
I was meant to read that. Oh well.
What's that?
I was meant to read that, but forgot to. Oh well. I have other things on my plate.
Yeah, actually, Bernice says he's eventually going to read it too.
Yeah, I'll probably seeing Bernice read it will probably be the motivation for me to read it.
Because it's actually the good thing about Yona the Dawn, and it's going to be, and this is my number one, is the same idea where you can follow it. You can not really care about the romance and still follow the story and be entertained and interested. It's got the adventure element, it's got the action, it's got the supernatural, the fantasy, all that. And of course, my favorite of all time is still Inuyasha. That's my go-to. But yeah, so those are my list. Do you have any other couples or anything like that you or any I guess waifus or husbandos or anything?
I don't do that sort of thing. Romance and series are a thing. Until I enter that phase where I was like, maybe I should be focusing on the writing instead of big spectacle, ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, I didn't even care too much about romance. Later learned that I do not experience romantic attraction, so that's probably why. But yeah, when it does come to couple, I can still appreciate couples in manga though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm looking at character relationships. So, I need to understand that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Chainsaw Man. Let's see. I need to actual proper reread instead of a skim of it. Because the way it approaches couples and love, I know it has an interesting way of doing that. I cannot put into words. Chainsaw Man's not or at least part 1 is not a series I care too much about. Part 2 is slower pace. I appreciate Asa's whole thing of wanting to find love but can. Right now she seems like someone looking for love just to fit in. Which also
sort of forced.
Aye. But also seeing how that. Hold on, I'm not actually saying anything right now. Hold on. I need to reread Chainsaw Man so I can actually look at that theme of love I had through part 1, and then see how part 2 juxtaposes that. Because I really like what Asa is. Because you just get attached to people to actually use her things, her abilities. Yeah, let's see. Baki, what I read of you did not go to in-depth romance. Okay, Banashi, why do I still have you listed as reading? I've not read since chapter 15. Put on paused. Boop. JJK, I mean, let's see. You don't really do romance.
Is there any romance in JJK? I don't think there is.
Closest there is Yuta and Rika.
Yeah,
I feel
and
that's more so a thing of letting go than, romance.
Yeah, I mean people ship in that, but the thing is there's no real basis for the ships. So
yeah. Closest close you can get, honestly. Maki and Yuta, maybe.
Yeah.
Though personally, with what it's been a while since I've read JJK. I need to reread.
Yeah,
Especially since I'm supposed to be moderating a JJK chat. But actually on my last read through, Like closest to anything that I feel could be any semblance of a relationship
Hmm.
actually be like Geto and Gojo, surprisingly. Though,
Yeah,
however,
as far as a
yeah,
non-romantic relationship goes, yeah, I could see that.
yeah, like I feel like they're the closest you could get to a romantic relationship, though.
Hmm.
And there probably won't be in JJK, or at least not any good, meaningful one.
I I don't think so. And once again, I don't think the
Yeah,
story's necessarily lessened for it. I think it would be improved. I've always said I've never seen romance ruin a series. I've only ever seen it improve
yeah.
a series. However,
Like
that doesn't mean
if
every
anything,
series
it's a
needs it.
non-factor.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so
Like
yeah,
in the last chapter, Yuji's gonna hook up with either if Nobara survives, Nobara. That girl from that one chapter, probably. Uh,
yeah.
Might be an angel, maybe, who knows?
I mean, at least we got like in Bleach, which didn't really have much in the way of romance. At least you got the sort of the vibe, and there was enough couple of
Yeah.
scenes that gave you, you know,
It,
Orihime and Ichigo and Yoruichi and Kisuke. You got
aye.
the vibes.
There's still a thing that goes on. I mean, like, nah, there wasn't anything romantic between Orihime. Bleh, no, Orihime and Ichigo was romantic. I meant to say Yoruichi and Kisuke.
Oh, you see,
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's sort of there if you want to say, yeah, they're clearly together, or if you want to say, no, it's just camaraderie. It's just
Like,
best of
for
friends.
those two,
Sort of
yeah,
do it
they're
either way.
definitely friends with benefits.
Yeah, at the very see that's the thing. Most people that argue that they're not in a romantic relationship, all of them say, but they definitely fucked. you know,
Yeah,
like everyone and their dog has fundamentally agreed that that has taken place. But it's just that is it romantic in nature or not?
yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
if
to be
to
fair, they're hanging around. They're comfortable with each other.
yeah, yeah. You know what it reminds me of? It sort of reminds me of like where Oda revealed that Shocky is Rayleigh's wife, sort of in an SBS, and it's like you don't get that from them at all in the manga, but once you see it, once you're told that, it's
Yeah.
like yeah, okay. They don't need to be lovey-dovey on screen and be like hello, wife, for us to sort of. And I think that Kubo sort of did that intentionally, where maybe he left it open ended for us to
Mm,
say yeah they're together, yeah they're not, or it's like it. They don't
yeah.
need to act like that. They're hundreds of years old. They're not school
Yeah.
children. So it.
And in the end, like, it's not something that needs time to be explored. Like,
Right.
either way, they're, friends. They're close to each other.
Yeah.
They do their things together.
Exactly.
It wouldn't really affect series, and given how long Bleach is,
Hmm.
I'm thankful that part of their interactions was not explored.
No,
Yeah,
exactly.
like,
Like we don't need to
yeah,
see it or have it confirmed. Like they're not. First off,
like,
they're not the main character. So
yeah,
you know
they're the background characters. They vanish for hundreds of chapters at a time.
exactly.
You don't need to know their romantic life.
Yeah.
But with what you're saying about One Piece, I fucking hate Oda's writing style for the most part. But
Okay.
like, so like one thing I do appreciate, like Shaki and what's his face, Rayleigh.
Hmm.
Like yeah, those two being in a romantic relationship does not feel out of place in the slightest.
Nope.
It makes sense.
Yep.
I can see it in the interactions.
Hmm.
But as I was saying on JJK, I feel like having a more romantic thing going on with the series
Hmm.
would very much improve it. Though at this stage, it's too late for that to happen.
Yeah.
Because like with the things you're presented with in chapter one, like the way I see it ending, the way most people expect it to end,
Hmm.
definitely shifting now though,
Hmm.
will change perspective when I reread whatever.
Hmm.
But with how talks were going, like in Shibuya, and like with what Yuji says in chapter one, die surrounded by friends, die surrounded by ones you care for, ones you love.
Hmm.
Like, I feel like if Yuji had the time to like establish some sort of romantic relationship, that would add a lot of weight to that. A lot of weight to that.
I
But
agree.
also like just character interactions in general. However, people his age, the students from Kyoto, for the most part, non-characters outside like
Yeah.
Miwa and Todo, and in part Mai, though to a much lesser extent. Also Camo, but as again to a much lesser extent.
Yep.
Or like people, in his fucking school, Maki, Megumi, Nuara. Sure, we get stuff of them interacting,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't get enough, especially for the whole, hey, die surrounded by people you love thing.
That's right.
That's why Origin of Obedience is one of my favorite JJK arcs. Because it focuses on Yuji's friends, the people
Yeah.
you hang with. But
Yep.
like post Shibuya, we have had none of that. And I feel
No.
like that's hurt all of its characters. Like nothing good character-wise has come from it. It's given the people any attention, less attention.
Yeah.
And it's
All
gone
the
to focus
like
on more spectacle stuff.
like I'm never going to deny that the Sundai Colony, of course, because I love Yuta, is great. But narratively in the story, we did not need to see it. We didn't actually need the Sundai Colony because we already know Yuta's a badass. And if they had said, like afterwards, like right in the chapter where it says Yuta has enough points to give Megumi, you could have literally had like a panel or half a chapter saying that Yuta completely wiped out a colony, and
But like,
and you would believe it, and we'd
yeah,
move on. You would literally,
like,
and if Gege hadn't shown a single thing about the Sundai, hadn't explained any of the other characters in the Sundai colony, and just said Yuta went into one colony like everybody else, and he fucking decimated it. Now he's got 100 points. You'd buy it, and you'd move on.
yeah.
You sort of needed to see Hikari because we don't know anything about Hikari, so you sort of needed that. But outside of the Hikari stuff, you do not actually. I'm not saying take the Sundai colony out. I liked it,
Of course not, yeah.
but
And like,
it's
Ryu's
not
great.
necessary.
Actually, I think it is necessary because the characters do play into lore stuff, but its length not necessary.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. A
However,
little
like
bit, a little bit.
there's two arguments I'd like to present.
Hmm.
One, like this has no bearing on the story at all. However, a lot of fans would claim it's worse because we didn't see it. Because like, oh, we gotta see the fight. We didn't see the fight.
Oh,
Wah
everyone
wah
does
wah.
that.
And also like, with how successful the anime was, mainly for spectacle stuff, because the average person, most people watch stuff for the sake of watching things.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, of course, they want big spectacle stuff. What made JJK sell well? Spectacle stuff. So I feel like Gege definitely has a lot of pressure to do more spectacle stuff. For example, take fucking Naoya flying around, Mach 10, woo,
Yeah,
everywhere.
that was a. Mm-hmm.
Or, what just happened last chapter with that giant Nui. Or Jacob's Ladder.
Oh, I mean, yeah, the Jacob's Ladder thing was like, holy shit! Wait a minute now.
Like this first, like the whole spectacle argument became very apparent to me
Mm-hmm.
during the Naoya colony. Because that was just fucking Sakuga bait. Oh yeah, things flying around very fast. Look how fluid this could be. Can't you wait for a channel to re-upload this, interpolated to 60 FPS and look horrible? I can't wait either, don't you worry.
Yep.
Like, of course it's gonna be sick in the anime. It's gonna be animated very well, and we're gonna be like, ooh, so cool. It's gonna activate our neurons.
That's true.
And so yeah, we're gonna love it. However, I feel like as a story, as opposed to something to consume,
Mm-hmm.
JJK is definitely like fallen off in that aspect.
Yeah, see. I always thought that the Culling Games was going to be a serious. It was over convoluted to just get the characters together, but not all at once, sort of idea. It was an overcomplicated way to do it, and so far, as you said, we've focused now for chapters upon chapters. Where have we really progressed? We went from one colony to another colony to another. We're finally progressing now, but realistically, we spent like 80% of this arc following 3 fights.
Yeah, also someone did point out that the Cullen Games has gone on for more than Shibuya now.
Has it really?
Yeah,
Yeah, see,
Shibuya was
and
52 chapters.
it's
Like,
way,
Cullen
and
Games is more
listen,
than that.
Yuta's in the Cullen Games, and I'm here for it. But
Yeah.
that and the Higurama stuff I think is awesome. Higurama's a great character too, and the comedian, our man, like there are some great things in there. But this is in no way. This is sort of the same problem that people had with Oda and Wano and stuff like that. Wano was much longer, and though it has some great moments, some of the best moments in One Piece, you could argue, it's still what really happened. The raid went on for fucking ever, you know? But
Yeah,
nothing really happened in the raid. People fought in the same length of time that, you know, in Alabasta. It's no different than Dressrosa or Alabasta. Zoro had his fight. Sanji had his fight. Luffy had his fight. But at the end of the day, you know, there was too much going on, but not enough happening, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Like, I feel like Gege probably went looking at Oda for writing inspiration or
Mhm.
like trying to learn writing techniques. Because it feels very Oda-esque in the sense of you set up loads of characters,
Mm-hmm.
all to make them do exactly one thing. 2 if they're lucky.
Yeah, I agree.
And you also have your main characters do exactly one thing because they're established. They don't need more attention, even though they really do. They're the main characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, this arc feels very Oda-y. Oda-esque.
Yeah, it does. It feels over. It feels like there's a lot of moving parts, and instead of jumping around the place, which once again that wouldn't be an answer either. Like don't jump between characters every 2
Yeah,
chapters.
because then it'd be too choppy. Nothing would get the time it needs.
Yeah, but now we're spending too much time with one character and then moving on and not seeing them forever. You know, and it's like,
Yeah,
wait
it's
a minute,
a
that's
skill
not good
creep.
either. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
like how when I fix Cullen Games, I know. I do not understand. It's been too long since I've cared properly about JJK to say.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like, I need to do like a reread from like an entirely new perspective, given the whole Megami Sukuna stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, the like that's I'll acknowledge that the last chapter is got some crazy, and the end of the chapter before has some crazy good potential. Like there's a lot of potential there, and now finally something's happening. We're moving forward. That's fantastic, but it all came almost out of nowhere.
and that is like I feel that makes sense for Sukuna being, you know, chaotic man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like hold on, words. But yeah, like for the most part of the Cullen Games,
Mm-hmm.
it's like building a car with 1,000 wheels that goes at 2 miles an hour. Sure, it moves, but you can get the same result from a bike. You can
Yeah.
have the same result, actually a better result, from something with a lot less investment and build up.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. Like, it's like as I said, that's why I had to make that video about JJK and not understand and just not understanding what the fuck is going on. Like at this point, like there's overcomplicated things going on that aren't even necessary to what, like, basically everything about the rules and everything is it I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but it's so unimportant compared to the fact that Sukuna's released and he's fucking everybody's day now. So all those explanation chapters amount to basically nothing now, because we have a much more immediate problem, you know?
Like, I feel like the rules were not, like, we were told the rules, we were not displayed the rules.
Mm-hmm.
We'd not see them in action, we'd not see consequences for not following them, we'd not see people actually try to break them and learn the boundaries. So we don't memorize the rules, we don't properly understand the rules. Yeah.
No, it's true. And that's, like, and there's a good argument, I'm not going to say, like, there's not, there is a good argument, like, I get this in the comment section a lot, is reading comprehension. I'm not fully understanding it because, once again, I've only read the series once. I know I need to do a reread, and maybe things will finally all come together and click. But as a week-to-week reader, if you need to remind me, or I have to go back and check Chapter 9 shit and Chapter 28 shit and Chapter 30 shit that's not relevant for 200 chapters in the story, and then it's going to be relevant in Chapter 212, 213, and it hasn't been brought up since Chapter 31, then I'm sitting here like, well, reading comprehension is one thing, but you expect me to also be a Wikipedia about this entire power system?
Like, when it comes to, like, Chekhov guns sort of thing. Actually, let's not even say Chekhov's guns, because you're talking about power system. I'm already talking about, like, something that was set up. Fucking hell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, JJK... Yeah, I'm glad Gig is ending it soon. Because it would suffer horribly if it went on longer. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
it's not even, like, a matter of reading comprehension, I'd imagine. Like, I like to say I have above average reading comprehension.
Sure.
But then again, the bar is in the fucking dirt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, anyone who sits there for more than, like, 5 seconds can, like, start to see the seams of the Culling games. And look at how, like, untethered they are.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, back to, going through those, love stories and series.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, Symmetry Simulation, I have not read you in over a year now.
Uh-huh.
I recall you having some nice setup thing. Paused, but Sakamoto Days, I've not been keeping up with you since like a year now, put you on pause. Tenkichi, your battle manga, not a romance manga. Kenkan Omega, I guess there's some ways something could happen between Koga and Ryuki, but it won't happen. It could have, but by this point, yeah, that won't happen. Ragnarok, I've not read you in over a year. Kiraeth, I have no recollection of what you are. I don't recall picking you up. Our Dreams at Dusk. I've meant to do a reread of that. Because that was fucking great exploration of, like, queer lives. I need to, like, desperately fucking reread this. Because I know I had some nice romance stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
It was given, like, equal treatment to everything else within it.
Mm-hmm.
Though then again, did read it like one night, like 2 years ago now, so I need to go and hop back to that. I've been meaning to do a reread for a while though.
Yeah.
It's 23
So many
chapters, like,
rereads, right? Like, so many rereads you want to do, and it's just like,
yeah, like the only rereads I actually want to do are GGK because I'm still actually partaking in discussion of that.
Mm-hmm.
Almost dropped it until Sukuna thing happened because no progression, clutter. That's the reason why I dropped One Piece.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, JJK is a thing I want to reread because, I'm involved in discussion. And
Right.
Our Dreams at Dusk is something that, like, I know it's good, and I know I didn't understand it as well as I could.
Right.
And it's only 23 chapters, so why not?
I mean, yeah, I'm like, when I, like, right now, I'm doing a Kengan Asura reread because I know I need to. But I also, I definitely have to do a JJK one for the same reason, is because there's certain things, like, and I'm noticing things now, rereading Kengan Asura, that I'm sure I read at the time, but I've forgotten, or little details, or something that makes a character.
Yeah, also, as I said earlier to Misk and you, about, first time rereads.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least tried to say to you. Because, I'm not the best at wording things.
Yep.
Yeah, like, as you see, on reread, there's things that are very clearly stated that I just didn't notice, right?
Right.
Also, how are you appreciating Kano?
What?
How are you appreciating Agito?
Oh, well, I haven't really reached Agito yet. I'm on, like, chapter 3. Like, he's appeared, but we're only we're in the third fight of the first bracket or whatever.
Right.
So, haven't really seen it yet. I'm curious if I enjoy, because one thing I've noticed, I'm not alone in this, because I've been following the Kengan Reddit a lot since I caught up, And
Right.
one thing I noticed is when people talk about Hatsumi, a lot of people say, "Wait a minute now!" Like there's more than one voice saying, "Stop disrespecting Hatsumi for that fight." Agito had some crazy, like even if people didn't like, I didn't care for it. I thought it was plot convenience, but
It was, yeah.
people had they're like, nonetheless, he had an insane random power up in between rounds that Hatsumi had zero prep time and zero, anything for. That fight would have gone incredibly different had Agito fought in rounds 1 and 2 the same way he fought in round 3. Or had he fought the same round 2 Kano versus Hatsumi, goes incredibly different. So people are putting a lot more respect on Hatsumi, which is nice, but because I think he got done dirty for the plot convenience. But at the same time, yeah, Agito's evolution, I'm curious to see, now knowing it's coming, I'm curious to see if it's set up properly, if the pacing there, or is it just a random boom, like Goku randomly having Super Saiyan 3. As awesome as it was in the manga and stuff, Goku randomly having Super Saiyan 3 just because they were in a dark hole and they couldn't get out, Vegeta was dead, all this, nothing good was going to happen, and Goku's like, yeah, I don't just have Super Saiyan 2, I have Super Saiyan 3 in the same arc. That's a bit like, whoa, where did that come from? As cool as it is, I'm curious to see how it's handled upon a reread. So,
Like, with Kengan, it's been a while since I've read anything, though I did reread it a lot. One fight I haven't read, like, at all, ever, was Okubo versus Agito. So, like, I can't see much on that. Like, people already consider Gaolang top tier, so, like, nothing would change for him. But I feel like if Agito were just made to be stated as a bit stronger, and also that in between round training got a bit focus, a bit more focus, his win against Hatsumi probably wouldn't feel as bullshit. Like, I agree, that's fucking awful. Like, I love Kengan, but yeah, round 3, fight 4, no. That ain't doing
yeah.
it.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. It not only
Off that one
disrespected...
moment.
What's that?
Off that one moment.
Yeah.
However, it does set up the dragon shot misfires in round 4.
Yes, it does do some stuff, but see,
That was a great turn page.
it was. But I'm just gonna say that at the end of the day, when you have a character that's set up and been as enthralled in the story, like remember, Hatsumi was introduced, and I even read fucking Sandro's write-up on Hatsumi before the Kengan Annihilation Tournament even began, which we do get at the end of a chapter. Says, I was going to introduce him later, but I really want to introduce this guy. He's a potential rival. He's one of the strongest. He hypes this fucking man up like crazy, and really he gets dog-walked for... It's basically disrespectful to the character, to do that to him. Like, as I said, I don't mind if Agito wins against Hatsumi. That's not what bothers me. It's that it shouldn't have been done so dirty.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know anybody who actually likes that fight, Like, even regardless of, like, the evolution of Kano and all that stuff, I don't know anybody who actually likes the fight. Like, it's not a good fight, because all it does, and I'm the first one to say, like in Record of Ragnarok, I'm the first one who's been complaining for a while. To keep it fresh, to keep it interesting, we need a low diff fight. We need a no diff fight. We need another mid diff. We don't need all these extreme high diff fights. That's going to get boring quickly. So we do need that. But...
That's why Tenkaichi had the William Adams fight early on.
What's that?
That's why Tenkaichi had William Adams get jobbed early on as opposed to, later.
Right, exactly.
Because then it's not a character you have extreme stakes in.
Exactly, and it's a good thing to do. I mean, look at Lu Bu versus Thor. Though people shit on that fight, that was a mid-diff for Thor, but still a good fight. Even though people will claim it's not. It's still a good fight. It was a mid-diff fight. Lu Bu was outmatched by a stronger character. That's all it was, but it was still a good fight. And, And once again, round 6 would have been perfect had it ended before Hajun. Round 6 was done beautifully. It was a character-driven round rather than a battle to the death. From a narrative standpoint, round 6 was going fine, But
Like overall with Kengan, like one of the things that like I think part one is brilliant,
Mm-hmm.
though Hatsumi definitely deserved a lot more attention,
Yep.
or needed a lot more attention actually, not just deserved
Yep.
because of how he was presented, talked up. Yeah.
Needed more love. There needed the and the sad thing is, as I said, Sandro wrote that the love was there. That's why he introduced him early. But then it's like, but you shat all over him. What the fuck?
Yeah.
So I don't get it.
Yeah, let's see. Going for series, Toriko, I
I mean,
guess Rin
there's
existed.
Toriko and Rin, but who
Uh,
cares?
yeah, nobody cared about Rin.
No.
Like, Rin could be removed, and very little would be changed.
Yeah, nothing changes.
Usogui, I mean, like, you're getting very fucking close to, a fucking love story there with Soichi and, Baku.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was, like, very, very fucking close to it. And by close, it was all but stated.
Yeah.
That sort of close. Kengan, no, not really.
Uh,
Bleach, we talked about
I
Bleach.
still argue because I've been rereading now, and there was heavy implication even by Sandro himself in Kaede and Oma being an item was heavy in the first 50 chapters, very heavy, implied that Kaede was into Oma, and even in Kaede's little thing about her first design and stuff, even acknowledges that maybe she's a potential love interest for Oma, and says, yeah, that direction works really well because we designed her to be way cuter than the initial design. We designed her to be a little more of a tough, like not taking any shit from Oma, and that's a good dynamic and stuff. Talks about
Yeah.
them as a relationship. It doesn't end up going anywhere, seemingly, as of Omega and stuff. Very sad. But
Yeah.
I still think that it was there. It just was never capitalized on.
Yeah,
So,
I can't really say, because whenever it comes to part one, right,
mm-hmm,
I focus on, like, when it comes to characters, I focus on the fighters between the fighters
mm-hmm.
and the fighters with their direct sponsor. So Oma and Kazi, instead
Sure.
of, Oma and Cade. So I
Yep.
can't really say. I'll look out for that whenever I do my reread, because
Well, there's
I love
something
Kengan,
actually.
so I
Now
plan
that
to
you
at some
speak
point.
on that, the fighters that I noticed that I want to see more from, and I'm really sort of upset that we haven't seen anything after this, is Fisherman Santa Claus and Seki. They had a camaraderie at the beginning, man. Like on the fucking ship, he was like, "Oh, you bunch of pussies, fucking drink with me. We're partying all night." And fucking Carl stands there and goes up to Seki and goes, "I'll drink with you, buddy." He goes, "Oh, fucking right, man." And then in the beach episode, which is of course right
Mm.
before the tournament starts, they're seen hanging out again, and they're seen hanging out again. They're constantly. We see a lot of shots in between interactions between fighters. Those two are like getting like, "Hey, man, you're pretty cool. Hey, you're pretty cool too." And their interactions are fun. And then I don't remember them interacting in the entirety of Omega. And it's like,
Yeah, but also then again, you just remember, like, when has Seki really interacted with people who he's already, like, talked to? Outside, like, one interaction with Muteba, during the, interaction.
yeah. Yeah, no, I mean that's fair and stuff like that. I'm just saying that like it would be
So it would have
nice.
been nice to see them more. Yeah.
I'll tell you what I miss, and because a lot of this shit was in the .5 chapters. There was a ton. I've already read.
Oh, yeah.
There's like 9.5 chapters by chapter 40. We
Oh, yeah.
need more
And they're-
.5 chapters.
Yeah, they're great .5 chapters too.
Because they do exactly what I'm talking about. We could see, it doesn't need to be relevant, but right now where it's Okubo versus Seki, we could see a .5 chapter before this fight of Seki hanging out with Fisherman Santa Claus and Sao Pang or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we could see this shit in a .5 chapter. We don't need this big, like, I know because it's a lot of drawing skill, we don't need to see the big fights or anything like that, though people would like to see Sao Pang versus, but like that type of stuff, that's what the .5 chapters were doing, and there's a severe lack of them in Omega, and that's missing. I like the fact that Omega's pacing is going, let's move on, let's not dilly-dally. That's good, but we're missing out on character interactions as a result.
Yeah, like, I believe like with Omega, like it's a combination of like Sanjo sort of like fumbling,
Mm-hmm.
like trouble figuring out where he wants to go. Which, to be fair, like he's been carrying this on for like ages. He already got part one out of the way, so that exists separately.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't blame the man for fumbling. This is like
No.
what upwards of 100 chapters.
No, I mean
And, like
it's
he's
okay
trying
for him to have a
something
mistake.
very, very different from part one.
Yes,
The
very.
whole like intrigue plot. So like, you can't blame him for that too much,
No.
though you still criticize him for it. And combined with Darrow's like waning passion.
No, it's true. You know, like that's the problem is that but I think with this Okubo fight he's starting to get it back, but we'll have to wait and see. Um Also, quick rundown of because I did a tier list while we've been chatting, because I said I would do more. Um, Quick rundown for people watching the VOD later and stuff. We have this is all apparently Nintendo characters. Now I know there's some missing. There's a lot I don't recognize. I might know them, but I don't recognize this avatar of them. So forgive me for that. And there seems to be some gender swapped characters, which are a big no from me. But it is
I
what it
think
is.
like most of them.
So we have the top tier crushes, of course, is Jessie from Pokemon, easy S tier, and of course Samus. Samus Aran is
Of
amazing.
course.
In very nice, I have Nabooru from Zelda. She is just amazing. Habada habada habada. Then we have also Midna, and I believe this is from also Twilight Princess. And then we have I believe this is supposed to be Lorelei of the Elite Four. Though in a cuter stage, she's a very voluptuous adult woman with that ice cold demeanor and stuff. She's pretty badass. So I'm good there. In the good tier, we have one. I believe this is from Sun and Moon, one of the Kahunas or Kahunas.
Olivia, yeah.
Yeah. I remember liking her design. She's pretty cool and stuff like that. So yeah, she's good tier, but I don't remember her much as a character. Crystal, I really like as a character and stuff, and people are gonna start doing the furry jokes. Whatever, don't care. I like Crystal. She's a fun counterpart. I remember when she was first introduced in Star Fox Adventures. Though people don't like that game, I love that game. So, then Princess Ruto, of course, from Zelda. Once again, you can tell I really like Zelda. Definitely like Ruto. I believe this is the angel from Pit. She just, you know, okay. I don't know who this is, but she looks like a MILF with it like.
That's Pauline from Mario, I believe.
Sure. Okay. Looks like a MILF, red dress. I'm good with it.
Yeah,
Then I got our star princess over here. I don't know. I always thought that she was going to be Princess Peach in disguise or some shit, but whatever.
wrong. Bleh.
Yeah. And then Zelda herself, of course. Then in okay but not for me, this is going to be a big controversial one for a lot of people, would be Cynthia from Pokemon. Now the thing is, everyone fucking has guys and girls, whatever gender you are, everyone gets an erection for Cynthia when you're a Pokemon fan for some reason. Now, I don't get it. I'm not into the goth thing as a character. She's not bad. She's, as I said, okay, but not for me. I didn't get it. What's that?
Like, like I might just be jaded from seeing like a lot of heavy goths,
Mm-hmm.
but like, yeah, I don't really see Cynthia as gothic.
Okay, well,
Like
she's
just a heavy coat.
yeah. I mean, fair enough. Like, but she's a lot of people call her the goth one or whatever, and I mean, I get. I guess it's just because she's all in black or something, and she. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
guess. Though black isn't necessarily goth.
No, it's not really, but I don't know. Either way, I never got the all black thing. I mean, it could work. It's just character design wise, I think there's better characters in Pokemon. Ash's mom is better. I'm just saying. Which she's not on this list. What the hell? And then of course we have Dixie Kong and stuff like that. She was always, or well, this is Candy Kong, not Dixie, but Candy was of course always the she was always the saxophone always played and stuff. Back before games were actually rated and N64, and they just didn't seem to care what kids were playing, and there was a lot of innuendo shit. I mean, she was there. And then we have the two princesses of the Mushroom Kingdom. We have Sabrina. She's just kind of there, I guess. Like, she's not bad and whatever. And then, of course, Fire Emblem a little bit there. There's better Fire Emblem waifus, but none of them are on this list. Mate, in the meh tier, same idea. More Fire Emblem characters that are sort of meh. The Ghost Women from Luigi's Mansion, sure. And these Pokemon gym leaders, whatever. Now, when we get into the no tier, of course, all this is the don't know them or I don't recognize them necessarily.
Yeah.
But in the no tier, all right, we have the crazy. She's crazy. All right, this
Yeah, not
one's
in the fun way.
yeah. This one's absolutely fucking nuts. She wants to destroy the
she's
world.
terrible.
Yeah, and open up wormholes and all this crazy shit and experiment on Pokemon. She's a horrible human being, so no. This one, I've only played Fire Emblem Fates a little bit because Fire Emblem hasn't been good since the Wii, but I am trying to play this game, and this one she's got that little brother complex. You know, Mei Mei from JJK? That's this bitch, and it's not doing anything for me. Yeah.
Like, knowing that definitely drops ratings for, because I've only seen her design.
Yeah,
was thinking,
design-wise,
that's
she's
pretty
hot
cool.
as shit.
Yeah, whoa, yeah.
Yeah, she's got the badonkadonk. She's good to go, but she's got that very my precious little brother, and it's just, but it's in a very creepy. Oh, I won't let anyone hurt you or have you or no. So then of course Animal Crossing characters, no. Toadette, no. Now, Lynn from, and Flannery from Ruby and Sapphire, I believe she's only like 12, so that's a big no. I don't know how old the other, I know Lorelai's old enough and stuff like that, and Cynthia, but I don't know about these other gym leaders, so that's sort of tentative.
Nah.
But Flannery's definitely not above the age of, so no. Same with Lynn here. Lynn depends on which Lynn. This is Lynn from the beginning of the game, or Lindis from the beginning of the Fire Emblem game. And she's supposedly, depending on the translation, either way, she's either 14 or 16. Either way,
No.
So, no. But Lynn at the end of the game, when she's like 20, fine dandy, Lynn's awesome as a character. But, no. Wallace apparently gender swapped.
No, that's a separate character.
It's fucking Wallace.
No, like, there's like different gym leaders for different versions of the game in that instance.
Oh my Christ.
But even then, like, she's one of those ones who, like, design wise, extremely like plump and curvy.
Okay. I mean,
Like, not in a fat way, but in like a people will say thick sort of way.
okay.
Nah, I don't get it.
Yeah, not for me. And then is this supposed to be Bowser?
Yeah, gender swap Bowser.
Okay, yeah,
It's
no.
something the internet saw and went, ooh, we're going to act like chimpanzees.
Damn. Yeah, so no. And then this is from Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, of course, the Shadow Siren, no. And of course, as much as I love the Master Sword, but once again, it's a fucking sword. So.
Well, I think you're a bit of a coward in that situation.
I mean, either way, like, as a character, a lot of people didn't like her. I really liked her, alright? But,
Yeah, for some reason, like, I watched this Skyward Sword playthrough from Sean Conroy when he did that. That was like, what, 5 years ago? Because I still use my iPad when he did that. So that was like 2018 latest.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember like seeing Fine thinking, yeah, she's an alright character.
Yeah, and she is. She's a pretty good character. She got a lot of hate. I don't really know why.
So then again, for some reason, like all Zelda players have a bloodbound instinct to like anything that makes noise or acts as any form of tutorial. They have like a blood-ridden instinct to fucking see like a boiling kettle whenever they see any form of tutorial.
Well,
And then they
yeah.
go, oh, these puzzles are hard. Maybe you fucking listen to tutorial.
Something to be said for that. Let's see. None of these seem to be. Some of these are repeating lists now. And none of the Valentine's Day candy lists are any good. Like picking your favorite chocolates and stuff. They don't really seem to be Valentine's Day-y. They're just more like chocolate lists.
Yeah, let's see.
I'm not
Going
finding.
back to my Annie list page with all the
Oh yes.
fucking manga I've read.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Lesbian experience with loneliness speaks for itself. Hell's Paradise we talked about. Doctor Stone I cannot recall at all.
Nah,
Uh,
there's not. There is and there isn't. It's not
like
relevant enough.
there's background elements, but it really doesn't matter. Its romance is there. Doesn't like hinder the story, but also like doesn't do much for it. Actually, when
Right.
I was involved in Doctor Stone circles when I still used Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
like a very common interpretation I saw was actually that fucking Senku was like asexual and or aromantic, which I guess I could see. Though if he were, there would probably be more of an explanation of that.
I think he was just more focused on like everything else that was important going on rather than that. But I mean,
Yeah,
sure,
so you
but
can
I
throw
don't think it was
like
relevant to his character. You know?
yeah, it's something that isn't really matches to his character.
Yeah.
More so that either way, it didn't matter for the story.
Right.
Which I like. Well, I like that part of Senku. I mean, I reread Doctor Stone. I was collecting volumes for it a while ago.
Nice.
I mean, to do that again.
Doctor
Just
Stone is really
haven't
good.
bothered
I
to go
really
back.
like Doctor Stone.
Yeah, I fucking love Doctor Stone. The yeah, rushed ending, blah blah blah. That goes for any long running shonen.
Yep. Every time.
I speed read when I read Shaman King. It was a speed read,
Mm-hmm.
though. Yeah, I can still appreciate fucking Anna and what's his face. I know it's your favorite series. Don't get upset, please.
I'm not gonna say. You're gonna have to get it.
uh uh no, Ryu was the other cool guy. Um uh 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 yo, that was it. Yo. I know it had the yo sound in it. Yeah, it was just yo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like what was going on between them.
Yeah.
Like, cause of
Yeah.
them.
See, once again, Yo and Anna had a few moments, but it wasn't the main drive of the series, and it was subtle. It was
Like, I
there.
don't think it was subtle.
Well, no, I
But
mean,
at the
I'm.
same time, I
Yeah.
feel like it was out there enough.
Well, yeah, because she came up and goes, "I'm gonna be the wife of the Shaman King. I'm gonna make you the Shaman King because I'm gonna marry you." And that was from day one. We understood it, and there was very few. There was only probably about half a dozen actual romantic moments throughout the entire series between the two. You know, and that's
Yeah.
basically it. The anime, actually, the original anime, added a few more moments than the manga did,
Oh.
which is fine, but because they were still within character and stuff. But that's pretty much it. It was there in the background, like because the whole focus is Yo becoming the Shaman King. It's not about
Uh,
Yo Nana. So.
though, like, since she is a somewhat of a main character,
Mhm.
that's still important enough to be explored. Like,
Yes,
I guess,
indeed.
like, that's something I should probably reread at some point. I guess it depends on how much we stay in contact,
Hmm.
if I'll read it.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah.
like, I remember being completely blindsided by I think the last chapter of you saying, "Oh, I never really like people anyways," or
Oh,
whatever.
really?
I can't remember. Yeah, so like that shows a complete misunderstanding of the series to me, from my
Yeah.
part. So like yeah, I get like if I do reread it, which I might,
Yeah, yeah.
I'll definitely be more looking for that aspect
Hmm.
Also, like, this was when I still read for the sake of reading, as opposed to, like, actually looking at things.
Yeah, yeah. See, sometimes you read something for the enjoyment of it, and sometimes you have to, other
Yeah,
times
but
you
now
read
I
something.
can't get enjoyment without actually, like, looking deep into things. So, yeah, anything I read from now on, not gonna have that issue. Like, yeah, with Shaman King, like, I don't care enough to, like, actually think about it, like, yeah, I should go reread this.
Right.
Like, if it comes up, then, like, if there's, like, say, like, Misk goes and reads it, like, Ban becomes active, I stay in contact with you,
Yeah.
and goes and reads it, then I probably would reread it.
Oh yeah.
But no, nah.
But I mean, see,
I got the volume. Well, I have, like, a few omnibus volumes, so I might actually look at those.
sure, and I mean, like, I don't think, like, if you missed that sort of cue, like, that's something you sort of have to read a little deeper because Yo's
Yeah.
entire thing has been stopping his, how and stopping all the bad shit going on and trying to save people. So his whole I don't really like people much either might seem like it comes out of nowhere, but it
Yeah,
it, it really
I'm well aware.
doesn't. But because the whole thing is like the good thing is about the backstory. And that's a lot of people's favorite part of the series. Actually, Reddit did a post
Yeah,
on
that
it.
was my favorite part.
Yeah,
I don't
everyone's
remember
is
anything.
Ozana Revar is almost everybody's favorite part of Shaman King because it shows that Anna is such a good character, and but it also showcases Yo as a really good character too because they're like, you don't have any friends, and he's like, yeah, and you can see he's putting on the smiling face about it, and he's like, well, I got my family, and he's like, but he's sort of accepting the fact that he's not going to have any friends and family has to be good enough because being sad about it isn't going to fix it, but it doesn't mean he likes it. And that's why, when he finds a friend in Manta, that's such a big deal for him because a lot of people say Manta's a useless character, and no, Manta's not a useless character because that's Yo's real first friend that's outside of his world, that's outside of his family and outside of everyone that's been picked for him, even Anna. To a degree, he went, like, no matter what went down between them, the fact of the matter is that Anna was raised by his grandmother and chosen for him, so that was still forced. He's never gotten to pick and make a friend on his own. He finally gets one, and so it's a very important thing because he doesn't like people either. He's grown up isolated and people who feared and ridiculed and hated him, so he does not have a good opinion about people
Yeah.
as a whole. And he just doesn't let that show a lot on his face. It's sort of like when Howe and him have that conversation in the coffee house, like halfway through the tournament. He's sitting there. He's like, "So you'll become the Shaman King, absorb the thing." And Yo is there smiling and says, "Awesome." And Howe is reading his mind and says, "Don't you feel anything? That's what you're thinking right now," and stuff. So it's also a good insight for us, the reader, to see that Yo puts on the smiling face and stuff, even for us as a reader. But he's thinking, like, what the fuck? And just pretending he's so used to putting the mask on. So there's a lot there, but yeah, no, like if you
Yeah.
never reread Shaman King, it's fine, but there is elements that
I
I
mean,
think.
you're convincing me to, do a bit of a read.
Well, I
Though
mean,
then again, not
it,
currently
it's
manga.
it's no different than I didn't think I needed a JJK read through up until about halfway through the Culling game. Halfway through
Like,
the
just
Culling
because,
game, I
like,
realized I need a reread.
at the time I reread, well, at the time I read Sham King, I was still somewhat invested in Black Clover and other weekly series, which I could
Hmm.
just take at surface value
Yes, very
and
much
not
so.
think on. So I expect, and with how Shaman King presented itself initially,
Hmm.
and with how Bandit presented the comic, I was like, oh yeah, and I knew he took a lot of inspiration from Shaman King. I was like, oh yeah, that's something I can look at, not think too much about, give a decent rating, then move on.
Hmm.
Even though it clearly isn't that
No,
now.
no.
Though at least because I know I didn't read it properly or read it at all, because 100 chapters one day. No. uh, yeah, I'm not saying anything bad about it. I'm not going
No,
out and
it's
saying,
yeah.
oh yeah, this comes out of nowhere. It's bad. It's bad. Yeah, I'm not going out and doing that, at
No.
least.
But there's
Which is
also like
more than a lot of people do.
Yeah, like I remember Miska's still salty over the fact that like I liked Tokyo Ghoul. Tokyo Ghoul Re is a piece of shit manga, and fucking the fact that he recommended it and stuff, and he said, "Listen, I mean, it's not as good, but it's gonna be okay," and I hated it. That he's always still salty about that. That's the whole reason I didn't
Like,
read
yeah, I'm
through
pretty sure
Omega. You know?
it's not that you salty about it. It's that, people are unpleasant when they're going through things they dislike. So when he's isolated there with you, no one else, for several hours at a time every week,
Yeah.
that's why he regrets it.
Yeah, that's true because there was very
Not because you disliked it
yeah.
from his recommendation. It's that you streamed it and didn't like it.
Yeah, and that was the big reason that he didn't recommend Omega, even though I like Omega. He thought, and that sort of burned him from recommending sequels. You know, as
Well,
those were
no,
his
it's
own
not
words.
just recommending sequels, recommending subpar sequels. Like, to be fair,
Yeah,
King and Omega is somewhat wonky in its writing, though I think most fans overplay it, or at least a tournament. They overplay a tournament
yeah.
by a landslide.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, let's see, what else can I have in here? Uzumaki, I cannot recall anything of that. I gave it a 7. Is that accurate? Maybe.
Mm.
The 2-page gorilla thing Sweet should have put out. Why did that a 6? Like that's 10 out of 10, objectively. It's 2 pages. The first page gorilla says, "Oh yeah, I'm going to die tomorrow." Then the next page, the gorilla's dead. It did all it needed to do.
I mean, it's perfect.
Yeah. Enga no Cyclops. That one shot was, let's take a mystery series and uh get rid of the mystery part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not good. To strip the flesh, that was not a romance thing. Though I liked it. That thing was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very good piece of like fucking queer media. Uh let's see, my paused series. Berserk, I did not understand it at all when I read it. I'm meaning to reread it actually read it for ages.
I mean, I haven't read
Uh,
Berserk yet, so.
yeah, it's great. Like, Bleach, I never actually finished Bleach. Like, I've always gotten, like, pretty deep into Blood War, and then got distracted.
Damn. Bleach is. I mean, once again, classic shonen ending problems, but Bleach is still one of my
Yeah.
favorite series.
Like, for, like, the past, 2.5 years now, I've been at chapter 601, and
Really?
I started, yeah, and I started reading it at, summer 2019.
Damn.
Actually, no, I started watching it. No, I started reading. Wait, no. I started watching it um late 2018, start 2019.
Mm-hmm.
When at slow pace, when the pacing was wonky in the Aranka arc, I switched to reading for a bit,
Okay.
and then stopped by like fall 2019.
Mm-hmm.
By early 2021, I picked up again and got to like some part of Blood War. Like mid 2021, I read like deep into Blood War. Then I never touched it since.
Gotcha.
Though, cause like I've engaged in enough discussion, I've had enough exposure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, uh, I can still somewhat partake in discussion.
I mean, fair enough. I mean, you read
Uh,
most of it.
yeah. Let's see, Hunter x Hunter.
I don't know. I
I
never got far enough.
yeah yeah. Uh, it's not a romance thing at all.
No, I know
Like
that much.
it's a case like I mentioned with JJK, where the closest is to like men Gon and Killua. Though then again, like it's a lot less intense than Geto and Gojo. And
Mm-hmm.
also it's only from Killua's perspective.
Right.
Because Killua, he says a lot of fruity shit in Chimera Ant.
Yeah, I gotta get to Chimera Ant. Everyone's saying it's the greatest arc I've shown in history.
Right.
So, I gotta get there. At the very least, I gotta get through that. Once I get through that, I'll be like, okay, I still don't like Hunter x Hunter. I read it. I get it. Can we,
Yeah, here's the thing. Like, Mrs. Recommend the anime. For going, for like, consuming it, in part for the sake of consuming it, the anime is a million times better.
Yeah.
It fixes pacing. It makes Tagashi's big dumps of info a lot more concise. And most importantly, it takes Greed Island from something which is excessively convoluted to something that makes sense. It's very meh, but it's not something where you feel lost.
Right.
Like, here's the thing, Hunter x Hunter is incredibly hit or miss.
Right.
Like, start, it's got its moments. The killer arc, Heaven's Arena, like, it's got its moments. Its
See,
moments
I
are
had
more...
I had no problem reading up to that point. My only problem, well, I don't like Gon as a character. I think he's a shitty character, but the rest of the cast made up for it. My biggest problem is that basically, like, if you have the Naruto, the Luffy, the Ash Ketchum, if you have all these guys that are basically, I want to be the best there ever was, right? And Gon's basically like, and that's their goal. Gon's goal is, I want to be a hunter just like my dad because he left me. And so being a hunter must be even better, must be worth leaving me because, being a father's responsibility, blah, blah, blah. But being a hunter must be so fucking important or so awesome that he was willing to leave me. And then when he gets the message from his dad, that's basically like, yeah, no, don't come to find me, and if you do try to find me, I will literally go the opposite direction. I do not want to see you. I do not want this, do not want that. He has basically zero fucking reaction, just goes, okay, well, let's go to Greed Island anyway. And it's like, wait, what? Your entire life's philosophy just got shattered. And you have zero emotion about that? And I just went, nope. Because people said Greed Island is not a good arc. I wouldn't know because it's not that I stopped Greed Island because I didn't like Greed Island. I stopped because I literally saw a character that was just a plot device that the Togashi was just moving around for fun just to get to the next thing, and he had no semblance of character development whatsoever. So,
like, Gon is very much a slow burn character. You see, like, he's a kid. He's a selfish kid. You see it late in a Greed Island. And a lot in Chimera Ant of him being shitty. He's selfish. He's a kid. He acts like a kid.
That's fine.
From the aspect of Ging, I cannot say with full certainty because it has been a while. And like Hunter x Hunter, I'm going to want to go for it again because I did love it. And I want to properly understand it. If I'm recalling correctly, like, at that point, I think it's more of, one, he wanted to, like, impress his dad, and two, he was someone who's content with just going with Killua.
Which...
Actually, I'm not saying that.
Would be, which once again, you could be right, and it would be great, but I still need, like, if Luffy's dreams, like, when Luffy's dreams were destroyed, there was an entire arc where he was beating his head against the wall and Jinbei had to stop him from killing himself because his whole world just got flipped upside down. And Naruto with the Sasuke bit had emotion and went into a depression after Jiraiya's death. And fucking all these characters that have a similar a goal main character, my problem is if his goals shifted, or even if his goals didn't shift, but he went and an obstacle got in the way or something, emotionally happened to him, like, we needed Gon to basically, like, I needed a chapter at the very least of Gon realizing, like, well, this sucks, and Killua to say, hey, you still got me or whatever, we can still do Greed Island or something. Like, Gon basically has...
That shows up a lot in Chimera Ant.
which would be
Like-
nice. But the fact is, his entire, I know he's a kid, but that means as a kid he should be more emotional. So it's so the excuse that yeah, he's a kid so he's selfish is fine. But as a kid who just had his dream shattered, he should showcase more than a blank stare, and should be like I don't know, something. He should cry, yell, scream, something.
I'm fully intent on going Front Hunter again with my newfound reading comprehension,
Uh-huh.
and also like, reread bonus analysis.
Mm-hmm.
It's like just so I can actually read the manga.
Yeah, because remember, I only read the
Whenever
manga. Maybe
I
they did it
do-
differently.
Oh yeah, go for the anime.
Yeah, and they might have handled it differently in the anime.
Well,
They might have had a
yeah.
filler scene where he is going through the motions, or Killua has to like talk to him or something. But
I
once again, it's been a while
don't
since I read it.
think
But yeah,
He went through the motions. Like, I'd say definitely watch it. That's probably what I'll be doing until the point where, the anime ends.
right, yeah,
I'll probably like shoot you a DM saying like, oh yeah, happened because this and that.
yeah,
Like, Gon didn't respond to it because of this or that reason. Because
right,
I do recall, he didn't have much of a reaction. But I do believe I was like, yeah, okay, that does make sense.
right.
So yeah,
And
whenever I do
and
that,
most people can
I'll
get
shoot
over
you a
that.
DM saying, yeah, happened because Y, X, and Z.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, even some of my favorite characters do actions like Ichigo, for example, does some stupid shit in the Fullbring arc that I don't like. But the thing is, I already like Ichigo as a main character. I don't like his decision, or I think he made a bad choice here. The problem is, Gon, I didn't like him the entire story, and then he does shitty, like not even character shitty stuff, but things that make no sense and stuff, and that just really the problem. Like when we don't apparently Chimera art, you don't really follow Gon much, so a lot of people are saying, trust me, if you get there, you'll really like it because you like the other cast. And I said I do. I like Killua was basically Ren from Shaman King, so I'm like, all right. And I mean, literally the same story, and with the family and all that. So I'm like, all right, like I like these other characters. And I like the dude who does the binding vow pretty much with the chain.
Killua?
Yeah.
Not Killua, Grabka?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
fucking love Grabka.
I like that whole battle that he had and stuff like so. There's other avenues and stuff. So I basically just have to get through that one part, and then after Greed Island, then I'll probably be good to go. But
Yeah.
like
I'd say probably whenever I get to I'll probably do that reread soon because Hunter x Hunter manga has some level of release
mm-hmm,
and semi-consistent scheduling
mm-hmm.
from what I'm aware of. It's I'll probably do that whenever I get back into reading manga and whatnot.
Yeah, I understand. We all go through
So,
stages.
Yeah, I'll probably shoot you that DM about, yeah, Gon responded here that way in that situation about Reed Island because of X, Y, and Z. And if
Yeah.
you're satisfied with that, you can watch it. If not, then, don't. Because then it wouldn't be worth your time, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see if maybe I missed a context or missed a read. I just think it's, yeah, so, I mean, it's possible. And once again, I didn't, when was the last time I read it? I tried to read that, 3 years ago now? So it's been a while, so maybe there was a reaction, but it was one panel and done, and maybe I was still pissed off or something. So I might be also misremembering exactly and maybe jumping the gun a little bit. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see and stuff. But anyways, Neve, it's been nice chatting to you as always. But this stream has now gone officially 4 hours, and I actually work tomorrow. So
Well, night-night.
yeah, so thanks for joining, though. I appreciate it, and happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, you too. You sleep well, because that's, been a while.
Yeah, there's not a lot of there's not a lot of opportunity. You guys are constantly doing that. I don't know what it is in the you guys are playing Minecraft, but you're also doing these weird live things, and I'm never what are we doing here? All right, I'll peace out or whatever. So even when I do have time and I see everyone in the VC, I'm
It's usually someone live streaming a game and most people not paying attention, Or we have
Oh,
the
okay.
YouTube open for one person who shared a video like 5 hours ago and didn't turn off the watch together.
Oh, okay. See, I'm always like, oh, I don't want to interrupt something if somebody's doing a watch party or someone's doing something and stuff. And usually, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm usually not interested in that because if somebody wanted me to see it, they'd at me, and if they don't, then I'm probably not interested in watching the video. Like I'm interested in talking to people and seeing what's up, but you know, so well, that's good to know for the future. Like as you said, maybe people forget to turn off the live thing, or
Aye.
maybe it's just someone streaming a game or whatever. So, but
Yeah,
anyways.
whenever like people are live, they're usually streaming a game.
Oh, okay. Well, that's now I know. See, I new features. So. But anyways, yeah. All right. Well, thanks for joining the stream, and
Yeah, no
we'll
problem.
probably chat again. And thank you everyone for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody, and we'll see you guys again. I'm sure. So, King and Omega out tomorrow. I think. Right?
Today.
Isn't it right, Neve? King and Omega's out
Yeah,
tomorrow.
Kingdom Omega Day. Yeah.
Okay, so King and Omega review out tomorrow. Look forward to it. Probably the end of the Okubo Seki fight. That's going to be exciting. So, alrighty. Sayonara, everybody.
Farewell.
And
Yeah, I'll talk to you